if I really love this decision.
Over the middle, got his man, and look at him go! Jalen Waddle for the touchdown!
Welcome to Inside Leverage, your gateway to the fascinating realm of the Miami Dolphins. Join us as we delve deep into the team's dynamic Super Bowl journey. We invite you to share your most scorching takes, unwind, and relish in our captivating experience.
Tagovailoa, blocked by Armstead, going, he's got him! He's got him! Tyreek Hill! And the Dolphins have come back!
A big play on the first one! Home run! Play one! To the house! What a start for the Dolphins!
It's Inside Leverage. We always gonna put on a show, baby. That's what we do.
Well.
Am I gonna carry the show again?
Apparently.
Am I gonna? Oh my! Wow, bro. Honestly,
Apparently.
I should get a bigger cut of this. Whatever the cut is, I should get a bigger cut.
I mean, that's what I'm
Just to
saying.
let you guys know.
I listen. If you would have told me that most of these guys are in our group are Haitian, I would think they're Cuban because look what time it is.
No. Listen. Our group of Haitians are the only group of Haitians that don't work hard. Don't get to honestly, we're an embarrassment to our culture. I don't think we've been early to anything this entire season. But this is just like Mike got to work on getting the plays on time. We got to work on getting to these on time. I'm telling you right now, man. It is what it is.
Well, listen, man. While we wait until the rest of these guys show up, how you feeling, man? Tell me how you feeling. How you, without getting too deep into it, because I'm sure we're gonna get into some deep and uncomfortable conversations. But just overall, just to let everybody know. Hey, before we get to that, just thank everybody for tuning in. But go ahead, Wally. Tell me how you feel, man.
Man, listen. You emotionally, your emotions are shattered. But if you want to be pragmatic, we've never had a core going forward. Like if you're my age, I'm 37. You've never had a core. You could say Ryan Tannehill, and that debacle that you gave 7 years to, and Ryan Tannehill never even at his best didn't give you to us worse. So you guys stuck around for that. Now you found a coach. Oh, you should have run the ball on 3rd and 2 because I told myself that I was thinking about the same play, 3rd and 2 running play. Okay, there's a lot of things you can work out, but the first 2 years you had a head coach that went to the playoffs back to back. Like you could say whatever you want. You could bring back Cam Cameron, Joe Philbin, Tony Sperano, Adam Gase, Brian Flores. All those chumps did nothing here. Rest in peace, Tony Sperano. You were probably one of my favorite, just tough-nosed coach. Dan Campbell, I forgot about Dan Campbell. He was a head coach here as well. We've had a coaching carousel with no identity, with nothing to look forward to. Now you found your quarterback. All these questions that you people are mounting, it's just, I get it. You got to sow clicks. You got to talk to her and the questions just to get people engaged because the season is over, so you got to get something to talk about. I get it. But besides that, man, I'm comfortable where we're at. This is the first time I look forward to the next season. Like, it's been the same thing from last season to this season with the Mike McDaniel era, and we went from 9 wins to 11 wins. Now, you could say 9 wins and Tua didn't play the playoffs the first season, so this is Tua's first playoff game. He lost. So that, you know what I mean? It is what it is. Now he has to compete and win. I think we have to build a better core to be able to deal with certain things. But man, listen, Javon Holland, Xavier Howard, Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips, Van Ginkel, like Connor Williams, the Monster was 50% of him. Jalen Waddle was like 40% of him. It's hard. But you should have beat Tennessee when you had the chance.
That's fair. I think for me personally, I know we all joke around about how old I am and all that, and I get all that, but I had a very interesting, I wouldn't say argument, I want to say, discussion with one of my coworkers, young kid. He's got to be in his mid-20s, maybe. And
Those are terrible.
I know, no, he's a good kid though. He's a good kid. Shout out to Nick.
Yeah,
man.
but they think they know everything. They think
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's not just that. It's just like the hyperbolic, like, oh, we suck. This is terrible. Oh my God, I've suffered so much. and I tell him, I'm like, you know, listen, man, I get it. I understand the frustration. I mean, my son hasn't seen you know, if it wasn't for these past couple of years, hasn't seen a winning Dolphin team. He's 27 or whatever. Like, he was too young when we went to the playoffs and all that stuff.
And those weren't back-to-back seasons.
Right. Like, I've seen the good, bro. I saw, you know, as long ago it was, I saw the Dan Marino Super Bowl. I saw the battles with Buffalo. I saw, you know, the missed field goal against the Chargers. I saw Dan blowing out his Achilles. I was live there when he came back against the Patriots and won, throwing the 4th down touchdown to Irving Fry. Like, bro, I've seen it a lot. And to tell you that I saw what happened, I never say that, you know, I don't want to give somebody or doubt a team, say, oh man, we can't do it, because there's always a fighter's chance, bro. It's football. Games are won on the field. But you're like, man, we're missing just too much, bro. And then, you know, get the result that we had for whatever reason. We can dive into that later. And literally, I was just like, I was more upset with the overreaction by people than I was with the actual result of the game, because I was like, man, we have a future. You know?
The roof was falling.
No, it's ridiculous, man, because you forget. Like, people forget, like, oh no, you know, yeah, like you brought up Cam Cameron, we drafted Ted Ginn and his family and fail forward fast, and you know, Tony Sperano, again, somebody else you mentioned, you know, 3 yards in a cloud of dust, bro, and you know, fist pumping the field goals, and you know, bless his heart, bro, but I mean, come on, man, let's try to keep our feet grounded here, you know. And again, I try not to get too invested and too emotional with what people say, but it gets to a point that, especially, and let me address one more thing before we even like get even further. I think, and it's been frustrating for me that as a content creator, we are content creators. We have plenty of content creators in the landscape, whether it be Twitter, YouTube, whatnot, X, whatever you want to call it. We have a responsibility, I think, to put out the best and most truthful content to our listeners, because they are looking up to us and getting information from us. You can have an opinion, but you know, advertise or say this caveat, in my opinion, XYZ. We have a lot of people saying a lot of outlandish things just for views and clicks and interaction. And there's people, unfortunately, that can't decipher what's what. So they take that. God bless you, by the way. Got that. I know it was a dog. But
that's my dog going OD outside.
I know, I was just messing with you. And there's just people that they can't say, oh man, you know, like they oh, this is gospel. You know what this person is saying. No, you're right. Tua's a one-read quarterback. Mike McDaniel, you know, XYZ. I mean, man, it's just so frustrating, man. You're like, dude, and the nature of our job, I shouldn't say our job, the nature of what we do here, we need to have social media because we have to have the interaction to be able to build a platform and get and reach as many, you know, people as we can. But man, now I understand why all of these people get attacked. I mean, there's stories. Shout out to Tilly, by the way. Tilly posted something on X that there were people going into Tua's family's DMs and talking. I mean, bro. I mean, I'm sorry, that's a line too far. Call me old school, call me soft, call me anything you want, but there's a line that you don't pass. This is a kid. I don't know, Wally, if you remember this or not. Do you remember back in the day? I'm talking about back in the day. I think it was the World Cup that Colombia was in the World Cup, and there was a self goal in the World Cup, and that soccer player, they killed that soccer player like in a bar.
What's his name?
I can't remember his name.
No. It was the what's the drug dealer's name?
Oh, okay. I know who you're talking about. Escobar.
Oh, man. Colombian dude, man.
Escobar.
His name is Paulo Escobar.
Yeah.
The soccer player's name is Paulo Escobar.
That's wild. But you understand what I'm saying? Like, dude, there's a point that you just don't cross.
But the thing is that I think there's just like I think I mentioned it to you guys. I'm like, we get caught up in the fact of like we've been around losing so much that when we lose, in this instance right now, you revolt to what you used to be, and you fail to realize how far you've come.
It's PTSD.
And what you have built.
Yeah.
But if you really want to think about it, man, like this core still has to get a turnover. Like the core team, the guys, like you have your fundamental pieces and stuff like that, foundational pieces, whatever. And then you have a bunch of guys, you have question marks under the starters. And you could go to your linebackers. Your linebackers, you don't have no one to. David Long is a 1-year deal. After Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips, there's nobody behind them to be like, oh man, there's hope that you have a bunch of old guys. So what you hope to become going forward is Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb, and you start drafting and getting guys that built the core. Which is how we ended up. Look at our defensive tackle, which is the perfect example of that. Christian Wood, Chris Sealer, and Raekwon Davis. They were all part young, old. Now we're gonna walk away from someone here.
Yeah.
Is it gonna be Christian Wood or Raekwon Davis? But they both ain't coming back. But my point is that we still have guys there. We don't after Javon Holland, I can't trust Brandon Jones. After Jalen Ramsey, you for $25 million X? Come on, man. And that's what people fail to see. Like this team is winning. It's like the duck it's like the beautiful swan, the saying you don't see the duck swimming on top of the river because it's majestic.
Like yeah.
That's the Dolphins. And when we're going through it, you hear these teams, and look, sometimes we gotta take our goggles off and realize what the media was telling us. They were calling us imposters, and we took the disrespect. But if you really break it down, we're not frauds. We're just an up-and-coming team that we don't have the core to stand with the big guys. Buffalo gets injured, and it's like a farm. The Niners get injured, it's like a farm. Look, the Eagles they're not playing with their guys. It's like a farm. They're gonna have somebody else show up. We're Tyreek and Waddle. Nobody else.
But Wally, what's the operative word? Time and experience. And this goes to an even deeper issue that we as a society want everything right now. Microwave society. Oh, so-and-so is not developed. Get him out. Let's draft somebody else. Coach is not that. Get him out. Dude. You can't. What is it that my wife says? You can't see the forest through the trees, or people don't see the forest through the trees. Like, don't get this myopic vision where, there's an ultimate goal of winning the division, winning a playoff game, and obviously winning a Super Bowl, but there's a process to it. Some of these people, we have growing pains. Our quarterback is going to have growing pains. Our coach is going to have growing pains. Okay? The only coach, well, I shouldn't say the only coach, but one of the few coaches that has experience is our defensive coordinator. Okay? And I think Butch Barry as well. But other than that, the main guy has to learn that there are certain things that he has to do. Okay? How do these guys get the experience that they need is by getting these experiences, by having these experiences. So what are you going to do? Give up on them because they're failing now? Like, yeah, I know we're desperate and we want results, but Like, dude, sometimes you got to look at the potential and say, okay, there's potential there. Let's give it a ride. I mean,
no, let's go get Kirk Cousins.
no, but you just had 7. You just got out of 7 years of Ryan Tannehill.
Let's go get Kirk Cousins.
Or Justin Fields.
No.
I mean, bro, some of the things that I see, that I hear, I just like, it blows my mind.
Yo, I saw some kids, some kids, like, because Louis Riddick has amazing points. That's, bro, it's amazing. He has great points. But I'm gonna tell you something. It's easy to be on ESPN preparing to critique a team and having great outlook towards a team it is to run a team. So you're gonna have great outlook towards the Dolphins. Oh, this and that. Oh yeah, Louis Riddick, you should be our GM, bro. I love Louis Riddick, and I said that before. But once this guy Chris Greer got his thing rolling, you can't take Greer out of here, man. You can't get rid of Mike. Let him see it through. By the way, Mike got in here before the rebuild or Brian Flores was done. So he was within a rebuild and went inside another rebuild. So don't get it twisted. We got a bunch of players here that are even look. Duke Riley. Duke Riley is an overachiever, dog. Duke Riley, if you really break it down, if he goes to a good linebacking core, he'll be a special teamer, which is what he was for the Eagles before he came over here. Dog, even with Van Ginkel, when people, I used to make his argument with you, Coach, like Van Ginkel, when it's Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips was Corby's in the Eagles. He's a backup. We got a bunch of backup singers dressed up as lead singers, and when you get to the show, they're gonna expose you. We got exposed. But people don't understand roster building and team building, commodity building, because they play Madden on 2K on PS5. They watch other teams. Look, they could say whatever they want about the Bengals, but the Bengals got to the Super Bowl, and tell me how's that turmoil looking for them right now? Not because Joe Burrow did this and that, this and that. How did that look? The Ravens, right? A perfect example of Ravens. The Ravens people wanted to get rid of Harbaugh. Buddy, want to get rid of Lamar. Lamar's on his way to get his second MVP. It might end up being a Super Bowl team. Same people. This is the same things that fans do. If those same fans right now are talking trash, oh, your team sucks, but you were there a couple years ago. You know what the team did? They didn't listen to you, and they stuck by the team. So this is exactly what the Dolphins have to do. Now listen to none of these fans. It's insane how people are like. You saw Tyreek with the video.
Oh,
these guys, it must be insane, bro. I don't even know. It must be insane the stuff that these people say to Tyreek on Twitch. You guys are embarrassing, bro. Like the most embarrassing fan base has to be the Dolphins fan base.
No, I'm sure. I'm sorry, Watt, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I'm sure this happens in every fan base. But I think we're more exposed and in tune with what happens with ours because we're obviously fans of the Dolphins. But bro, when one of the leaders of the team has to come out and say, "Hey, don't give up on us. Don't give up on Mike. Don't give up on Tua. Don't give up on us. We're building something." I'm like, bro,
it's embarrassing.
What people fail to understand is that he doesn't have to say those things.
He shouldn't.
He shouldn't, but he doesn't have to. He's getting paid anyway, whether he says it or not. So to me, it's like, man, I just covered my face and I showed my phone. I was here with my wife today. And I showed her, I go, look, he had set on Switch. She's like, oh, what did he say? And I said, look, she's like, I can't believe it that he's got to do it. I go, neither do I. This is embarrassing.
Because it's the fans they just turn on people, man. It's insane. It's insane. Nah, read this. Look, I'm he has to get he knew he had drop passes. He himself, I'm gonna go to the jug machine. He know what he has to do, but outside of that, for you to critique these guys, bro, listen, Tua's first full season, he won 11-6. I mean, 11-5, whatever you want to call it. Come on, man. Went to a playoff, lost in the playoff. That's it. Their second season together, Tyreek, NFL record and a top 5 record of yards as a wide receiver. These things that happen, man. Next year, we have to make sure we have a number 3 and a number 4. We were after Waddle, we were searching, and let's not talk about the offense. I saw a tweet, and I was really, really mad, and it's got into now when it's all said and done, you realize I realized that the tweet was correct. They were giving our offensive line all these praises. oh, this and that. The Dolphins offensive line is this. And this tweet said, listen, that's a Tua effect. And I'm like, yeah, but these guys got to win their one-on-one matches. I even got mad. I'm like, you know, they got to, you know what I'm saying, clean sheets. Nobody, you know what I'm saying, nobody getting sacks. Yeah, it's because this kid is getting the ball off in 2.7 seconds. Like, it's insane. So you're dealing with an insane, you're trying to sustain the insane, which is borderline, what? Insane. Nobody insane is sustainable. You're going to go insane. So how you sustain an insane approach of football that's not sustainable? You're gonna once you figure out, you're gonna find cracks and it's over with. But people don't understand that. People have no idea the type of offense we were running because it looked pretty and they made it work. But after Connor Williams went down,
I agree. We talked about that. We were talking about that. I think it was. I don't know how many weeks ago. I think we were in the chat and we were just talking about it. And
we're talking about Tua. We're talking about Tua.
Right. And it was like, man, it's not a coincidence that obviously, you know, him being a shorter quarterback, the middle of that offensive line has to be strong. Your two guards in the center. Once he got hurt,
it was over.
The running game went down. And look, I don't want to make it an indictment or criticize Liam because he toughed it out, bro.
He's not a starting center, man.
No, but he's not a starting center. I agree.
He's a backup center that he got us by.
Yeah,
he got us by. He got us exposed. Look, you can't. And look, the Buffalo Bills right now, they're playing with 5 starters that were there the
whole year,
entire season.
Yes,
that is insane. We're playing with guys that are like, bro, they're afterthoughts. We're making it work. Shout out to Butch Barry. Which leads me to the question going forward. I'm paying. People are talking, I'm not giving Connor Williams. I'm giving Connor Williams whatever Connor Williams needs to get. And yes, with the injuries and the injury and whatever in play or whatnot, but Connor Williams arguably is one of the best centers in the league. So you have to get up with that money. I don't care what it is.
No, I agree. But you also have now this, I'm not going to say this doubt or this conversation that I think was read into a little more than what it should have with this whole Teron Armstead situation about him possibly retiring. I mean, that is just it's like typical information on social media. They said, he's possibly retiring, whatever. But if you listen to or read the transcript, or you know, I'm sure there's video out there of the question. He says, "I'm still having fun. I'm not going to stop playing. I'm ring chasing."
He's not retiring.
Like, why would he? You know,
he's not retiring, bro. He's not retiring. You know why? Because he knows what's up. He knows what's up. He knows he's a couple two on his line. He's a dog away from in his line. He stayed healthy, and we held him back because he stayed. What he played 12 games.
That's a good question. I was actually thinking about this the other day. Let me see.
He stayed healthy, and he played top 5 tackle. There's nothing to tell me that he has he's deteriorating. He played the same amount of games.
He played 10 games. Yeah, he played 10.
And he played better. And I believe I ain't gonna hold you. They put him in. Did they put him in IR? They didn't even put. They put him in IR, right?
Yeah, I think it was a short-term IR. The 4 games.
And that was just because the trust in Kendall Lamb and Keon Smith is intense. I don't think I think he probably could have played 14 games easily.
Yeah, I mean he played 13 last year, and the year before that with New Orleans he played 8.
You see what I'm saying? He's playing good football, man.
Yeah,
he's playing good football.
Not only that, but he's a leader in the locker room, bro. You can see that.
Listen, if people, you better pray that man does not retire. That man retires, the offensive line is gone to shit. I don't care who you bring. You're gonna, unless you go pay another mountain. Because yes, I know we're towards left-handed and the blind side is his right side, but you still need a dog captain as a lineman. And
no, for sure. Yeah.
So my question is, we're gonna have conundrums on both lines. I would right now. I'm taking my Christian Wickett money, and I'm gonna sprinkle that into Robert Hunt, Connor Williams, and a new starting left guard. Not a patchy left guard that oh, Isaiah Wynn, if he's healthy.
Yeah, like a bargain basement type player.
I'm getting some nice. I'm not gonna get something stupid, but I'm gonna get some nice that I could trust. For I mean, because I'm not paying Christian Wilkins 20, what is it, 24 mil per year?
25, I think is what I heard.
What was that in the playoffs?
Now, listen, that's a very good point because yeah, he had the fumble recovery against the sack and fumble recovery against the Bills, but other than that,
that's it.
And listen, shout out to him, man. He busted his ass and he had a good
9.5 sacks.
season.
He got 9.5 sacks. He got, you know what he got? He got paid by another team.
Yeah, I personally don't. I mean, I've been on it since the talk was that it was close to 20.
I didn't want to pay him that regardless.
And I hate to lose him, bro, because he's somebody that we drafted, and and he's an important piece in the locker room. But sometimes you just got to say, hey, listen, man, we got to divert funds somewhere else.
Him, Agba, Baker.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I wish Chad would be here to give us more of a numerical breakdown because he's really good at that. But I mean, and I'm sure we're gonna address that in the months to come. But yeah, I think there has to be
a way will we keep him, dog. But
no, the shift. I think the shift is obviously before when Flo was here, the shift was to go heavy on the defensive side of the ball. But now I think it's shifting more the other way because you have guys like you got Robert Hunt, you got Connor Williams. You got to find, like you said, another left guard. I don't know if I don't know what Chris is gonna think if he's gonna trust Isaiah Wynn coming back from an injury like that. I think they're definitely gonna draft high, possibly a tackle or a guy that can play guard. He starts as a guard and move over to tackle.
You're the guard tackle. You're guard tackle.
I think they have to draft another center.
I think they have something in Olave. That's the center, right?
But yeah. That's the guy they cut later in the season, right?
Yeah, but isn't he like in the practice squad or something?
I think so. Yeah. So I don't know if he was released from the practice squad. I really can't remember right now.
Man, Isaiah Hayes. Those Ryan Hayes.
No, Ryan Hayes. Yeah. Well, I mean, they got pieces that they can do. They have Ryan Hayes. They have Keon Smith. I don't know what they're going to do with Kendall Lamb. He did well with when T-Said was out.
I think Kendall Lamb going to find a home somewhere, dog.
Yeah, I think the two guys. I'm leaning more towards keeping Robert Jones over Lester Cotton, but that's just my personal opinion.
There's no way you're keeping Cotton.
I mean, they I know they ended up getting him late last year. He started a playoff game last year, but he still did. But I mean, that room has to be upgraded for sure. There's no doubt about it. Because
you could keep both of them to be backups.
Yeah, but then you get into a situation like we did this year. Somebody gets hurt because you know how it is with the season.
See, it goes back to my roster building. We got to upgrade. And look, this is an upgrade. This is another. That line was an upgrade. The backup was. I said, our backups are solid, but we got to get better backups and better starters.
Yeah,
we have to. Raekwon Davis. That's a decision you have to. Van Ginkel's a decision you got to come to terms with.
I mean, and that's another one too. I mean, AVG came on. He was a free agent, came back on a 1-year deal, on a prove it deal. He balled.
He's not playing. Got hurt. Where are you playing that next year?
That's the thing. I mean, let's see what happens with that. I would hope for him to come back, but I'm leaning towards probably drafting a guy. No, exactly. And this is why the draft going forward is going to be so important because salaries there's going to be top heavy in the roster. You have a decision.
If you bring in Van Ginkel, what position are you making him back at?
I think it all depends because
what? Because our starting linebackers are coming back.
There's some information out there that I'm not at liberty to release right now, as far as a possible coaching change. So I don't know. It all depends. I'll just say that. It all depends. We'll get into that a little further.
A one and done?
Listen, don't kill the messenger, but we'll see. We'll see what
That's
happens.
insane.
We'll see what happens. But either way, I think AVG is an important piece of the defense. I love his energy. I love his motor. But can Chris find that piece in the draft where it's going to be cheaper? Because the draft is obviously going to be a lot more important.
Thinking who's going to be the next, bro? Wow, why'd you do that, bro?
I'm just saying. I mean, nothing's concrete. I'm just saying there's chatter. You know, sometimes when you put your head down on the floor, you hear some rumblings. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hopefully not, but I don't want to go any deeper than that. But yeah, so I was gonna say you don't necessarily have a decision in my eyes. You don't necessarily have a decision with Tua to make. I think it's just a matter of when, not how much. How it helps the salary cap going forward, because right now as it stands, I think we're over 40 mil. So we're gonna have to have some restructures done. There's gonna be some people we're gonna have to say goodbye to. It's gonna be interesting.
It's gonna be really easy to say bye to most of these guys.
Yeah.
The only guy that you probably become attached to is Van Ginkel. The rest of them,
yeah, no, and listen, with Ogba, at least with Ogba, they were trying to trade it. They were trying to trade him. So,
Ogba's gone.
Yeah, no, he's gone. Especially at the number that he's made, he's his salary right now. I think he's gone.
And let me ask you a question: who do you bring back between Baker and Van Ginkel?
Van Ginkel.
You can't. Van Ginkel outpriced himself. The only way you're gonna get a team-friendly deal is a Baker.
He did that already. Remember?
Oh no, but he's done. Yeah, but he's off the books now.
Okay, if that's the case, then
I think Chad has the thing.
Yeah.
No, I think he's I think it's a post-June cut.
I don't have it with me here. I wish he was here.
Where are the brainiacs?
I don't know. He's probably sleeping, bro. You know how Chad is. Probably taking a nap. But I don't know, man. We'll see. There's gonna be a lot of interesting. This for me personally, I'm a big nerd when it comes to this stuff. I love all the roster building and the possibilities of getting this person and that person. We've already started to dig into the draft and the possible free agents. I know Chad's been tweeting out some info. Frankie Luvu, I should say, is one of his top target. Kid's good, Carolina linebacker. Listen, and one other thing I wanted to bring up. Do you remember? There's a couple of things that I remember. We all remember when Vic, right before the season started, said that we weren't deep enough. And it was a lot of buzz, like, what is he talking about? What do you mean? If you really look at it, there was a lot of discussion back and forth, about what he really meant about that, and it turned out to be true. He was accurate with that. And another thing, go further back a little bit. We all know, and I think it was in Mike's press conference, that he loves defensive ends. He loves pass rushers. So that's definitely, I think. Looks like Terrell Bernard just suffered a leg injury. He was carted off in the playoff game. I just got a little thing on my phone. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, man. Who do you personally think is for sure gone off the roster next year?
But I could name you a lot of players. Nick Needham is gone. Brandon Jones is gone. Deshaun Elliott is gone. I don't think they should damn well try to work something out with David Long. I don't know if he signed for one. I think we signed him for a 1 or 2 year contract.
Mm-hmm. He had a good year.
He had a great year.
Really good run stopper. So
I don't know what the contract situation is with Durham Smythe, but Durham Smythe might be gone. He didn't do nothing this year. Jonah Hill, if Jonah Hill's gonna make the next step, he's replacing Durham Smythe. So we might sign a tight. We talked about a few tight ends. I like Noah Friend out there.
Yeah,
but I think Durham Smythe will be gone. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson and the Achman and those guys. I hope I don't see them again next season. I'm pretty sure Raheem is back.
Bro, how do you exactly? How do you cannot you cannot turn away 21 tutties, bro? Like,
no, you can't.
You can't do that. You can't. I'm sorry. I know he's older, but you just can't do that.
He'll be back, and the roles will change. He'll be number 2. HN will be the number 1. That's what it is. Cedric Wilson's not coming back. Barrios is not coming back. Rob, you know what? Scratch. I think Barrios might come back next season.
You think so?
He might get a team friendly deal to return and stay home and stuff like that. Because unless somebody wants to give him the bag. Great Craft. Those guys is gone. Yeah. The deep Xavier Howard's gone.
Hey, Wally, we got our guest here. And look at that. Look who's here.
Hey guys, what's up?
We got our guest here, Yanni.
And our guest.
What's up,
Yanni,
guys?
Thanks for joining us.
What's going on, my brother?
Man. How you doing, man?
Doing well. How are you guys?
We're just we're just trying
licking our wounds, man. We're licking our wounds, man. It's basically it's like when a shark had to fight. You don't see the shark. You don't never see the shark hurt. Talking to any other shark, but we doing it right now, man. We're licking our wounds. That feels terrible.
And
But
it's
the
a Saturday
outlook-
night loss, so you still got the NFL games yesterday and today, so it feels like you left the dance early,
Yeah, it doesn't help.
And watching Buffalo hurts so bad right now. It hurts.
Yeah.
All right, so let me introduce you, everybody. This is Yanni. Let me see if I can try not to butcher your
Say it
last
in
name.
Spanish. Maybe it works.
Kourakis.
That's pretty good.
How do you pronounce it?
Yanni Kourakis.
Kourakis.
In Spanish, literally in Spanish.
I don't know.
Oh, that's a
man.
Greek name, man. That's a Greek name.
No,
Yeah,
I mean,
but
yeah,
like-
Kourak, yeah.
But if
But
you
it's
read it,
kinda-
in the way you pronunciate it, if you read it in
Correct.
Spanish, because French is, Coach is Hispanic, it says, like you said, not with your amazing accent, of course.
Kuraki.
There you go. Yeah, roll the R. It sounds real good.
Come on.
Tell us what you do. Where do you, where do you work? And what do you do?
Yeah. So I'm a sports anchor and reporter at WPBF in West Palm Beach. So, we're the local ABC affiliate in Palm Beach County and up the Treasure Coast. So pretty much from Boca all the way up to Vero Beach. And I cover the Dolphins among other teams in South Florida, but I'm at all their home games. I generally go to the Wednesday and sometimes Friday practices during the week. This is my 3rd season covering the Dolphins. I'm actually a New Englander. I covered the Patriots for 8 years prior to this, but moved down with the family a few years back. So, I'm oftentimes at all the home games. I didn't go to Kansas City, probably thankfully because of how cold it was, but followed that one closely. But so, I've been covering the Dolphins now for 3 seasons and just listen. I don't know if you guys listened into Greer and McDaniel earlier today, but was having that stuff on for the 6 p.m. newscast. Although we had a tornado warning up here, so I just got wiped out. So I was going to be on the news about 15 minutes ago, but easy day for me. Tornado warnings. Hope everyone's okay. Wiped out the sportscast today.
Wow. All right. So what did you get out of that press conference? Because I literally watched it before we went on live.
Yeah. Well, you sort of knew, right, that Chris Greer wasn't going to say all that much that was going to give you a whole lot of information. But I thought the Tua thing, is obviously their biggest question. And he said he spoke with Tua's agent or Tua throughout the year, but they didn't talk contract. They'll address it this offseason. But when someone asked about the $50 million going rate, I thought it was sort of funny. McDaniel jumped in there and said, "Oh, are you Tua's agent?"
Yeah, I saw that. I did see
It was
that.
sort of like this uneasy moment there. And I don't think Tua is in that ballpark. So it'll really be interesting to see, You know, do they let it ride for the 5th year of his rookie deal? Do they give him a huge extension, or do they sort of go the Kirk Cousins route and play it through? And then you get into the franchise tag mode. So the Tua thing was huge. I thought it was interesting when Greer mentioned, happy for, Wilkins. He had a great year. He bet on himself. We'll see where that goes. And then just, in terms of how the team played and their reaction, you could tell they were sort of tiptoeing around, especially Greer, how he really felt. So, you just sort of got to read between the lines with these things because they don't say a whole lot, outwardly.
What were your thoughts on when they were speaking about the draft picks and Chris Greer's line of thinking and hey, if something comes across my table and round pick can go. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that the Dolphins should be looking to try to keep it, or should we keep our options open for that impact player? Because we have been getting a lot of players in that 25, 26 range. You know what I mean? That could be a part of the core as well. So. What are your thoughts on that part of it?
When you haven't had a first rounder for a little while, I feel like you want to cash in on that pick. Assuming you get it right. There's no guarantee a first round pick is going to hit. We've seen so many not hit over the years. But I think if you're McDaniel in your career, you want to get high level young players because most of this roster. Is either on their second contract or the tail end of their first contract. You don't have a lot of first, second, third year guys that are really standout players. Jalen Waddle, I guess, would be the exception. So I think getting younger can certainly help and being under control. That rookie contract is so key for NFL franchises to have good players on a rookie contract.
Hey, Yanni, thank you for your time. I just want to get in. This is French Claypool. What would you say? Because just listening to a little bit of that Chris Greer interview, they mentioned maybe like kind of that 30% turnover that you typically have within a given roster. And yeah, we have our draft picks, but do you think kind of based on what you're saying as far as kind of getting assets in that younger range, maybe, taking the chance on, some of these other guys in the league, depending on what some of these other franchises do. I look specifically at the tight end and, or specifically the tight end position to help take this offense to the next level.
Yeah, I think, in free agency, if it's not like a Tyreek Hill or, someone like, those big splashes, that was a trade, but a lot of the free agency pickups that help teams are guys that I don't want to say you haven't heard of, but are guys, like you said, offensive line or maybe not a bona fide high end tight end, but someone who can add depth or quality to that position. So like a lot of teams that grow depth and increase the level of play in the middle of their roster, it's a lot of like day 2 free agent guys, right? So the day 1 guys get all the huge headlines when everyone's spending all that money. But the Dolphins, they're going to have to figure out how they maneuver the whole cap situation because they're up against it. So I don't know how many high ticket price items they can afford, right? So, but yeah, the tight end position, like you mentioned, obviously has to be addressed. I think I'm surprised McDaniel, Gesicki wasn't a blocking tight end and coming from San Francisco, he wanted, a tight end that blocked, but I'm surprised they didn't do more with that position this year, pretty much just being Durham Smythe.
Oh, man. Thank you for your time, brother. Quick question. What are you doing with Christian Wilkins? You giving him the bag, how they say in these streets. He giving him the bag.
Man, it's tough. He had a great year, and it's those high-end defensive tackles just don't grow on trees. And, he's a homegrown guy. You know him. He knows you. But I think you probably let him go out to the market, see what's out there, and say, hey, I think Christian Wilkins likes playing for the Dolphins. You say, hey, see what you can get out there. We'll try to match. If it's a number you can't get to, he probably has to walk. But I'd like to keep him back, but there's only so much money they have, right? So I don't know what the market is like for a defensive tackle. I don't know the league well enough to know who else is hitting the market at that position. But you know, him and Sealer, man, really came on, had a great year there on the line. So I don't know. So I mean, the Xavier Howard thing could be interesting too, right? Because I think he's owed what, $25 million, and he has no real guarantees. So
he could go make his own team at BT's by the river or whatever he wants.
So that would free up some money, but I like Wilkins as a player. I don't know how far, you know, Greer was saying they spoke, you know, about contract stuff prior to the year. I wonder how far apart they were. I don't know if there's been any reporting on how far apart they are.
I just don't think we pull the plug when he's asking for double the money that with the guy next to him had more sacks than him. So
yeah.
I don't think Christian Wilkins has any gambling chips, any bargaining chips anymore. When the guy right next to him is probably gonna go to the knock on the door. Hey, I need more money because you're giving him 26. I'm getting 10. Nah, I need more money than this guy. So it's gonna be a problem. I think I'll take your approach, but with the like, I'm not gonna match anything.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if he's gone. I bet he's probably gone. He'll probably get the bag from some other team.
All right, so you know, we're doing that. Let's Gianni, I want to ask you about Mike McDaniel's job so far in the 2 years that he's been here coaching. How would you assess his overall growth, and would you say there's a part of his, I wouldn't say game, but a part of his coaching that definitely needs to be improved, in your opinion?
So I think, I mean, when you consider Brian Flores won, 10 games and 9 games his last 2 years, and now McDaniel's won 9 games and now 11 games. While the product has been better, the win total and the playoff victories have not really increased. The playoff victories, of course, have gone nowhere. But if I'm Stephen Ross, I'm happy with Mike McDaniel, the hire so far. I mean, when you go back 2 years, this guy wasn't even calling plays for the 49ers, all a projection at what he could be, you know, as this innovative, smart guy from Yale. But he was the running game coordinator for the 49ers. So I think his offense has proved to be innovative and obviously highly productive early in the seasons. It's tailed off now twice. So I think his strengths are as a play caller. I don't know why there's some rumblings that maybe hand over play calling duties. I think that's his strength as a play caller. That's primarily why he got the job. But I will say some of the in-game stuff, he hasn't had a lot of success with challenges. Some of the timeout stuff, some of that in-game stuff that a lot of first-time coaches struggle with can be an issue. I do think his players like him. He's clearly a player's coach. He goes to bat for his guys. He wants them to succeed. He seems to have a good rapport with them. I guess the only thing he needs is, I think he needs a little bit more of the toughness, the team struggling. It's cold weather. It's games in December and January. And I feel like the team just lacked a little bit of that, old school football toughness, but that's not really his style. And he wants to be authentic to who he is. So that's not getting on his guys and yelling at him and trying to be someone he's not, is not being authentic to himself. So his personality is what it is. I think he's great offensively, but I think there was always going to be growing pains. And he's got Vic Fangio as his DC to sort of handle that side of the ball. So I think some tweaks maybe with the coaching staff, but I think he's learning, and the more people he relies on that are smart people, like hiring Fangio for the DC, will only help him. So, but I think if you're a Dolphins fan, you're pleased with what he's done over the last 2 years, despite no playoff wins to show for it. Are you guys fans?
Oh yeah, I'm all in.
A little bit.
Because
we've never spoken before, so I don't know where you.
No. I think I'd like to say that. Oh, it looks like Chad just dropped out. It looks like I think we're all facing in the right direction. as far as Mike is concerned, as far as the quarterback position is concerned. I wouldn't say that we're a part of, quote unquote, two and on, because nobody's out of the realm of criticism. But
you can criticize your guy.
That's exactly what I was.
What are you talking about, friend?
And I'm all in. Anybody that's not all in can go back to the Ryan Tannehill days or the Adam Gase era or the Joe Philbin era. But this right here, we got our guy, we got our coach. Ride it out. That everybody's so obsessed with instant gratification. It happening on our watch because we want it now. Listen, that Detroit fan, season ticket holder for almost 66 years, and he finally gets this. You know what I mean? Like, guys, it's part of the journey. It's part of the journey. Got to ride it out.
Anything else, friends? You good? You good?
No, so let's pivot over to the quarterback situation. What's your position on that?
So I think Tua is a good quarterback. He led the league in passer rating last year. He led the league in passing yards this year. Obviously, he plays better when the conditions are better, when all those guys are healthy, like any quarterback would. He's, struggled in cold weather and some big situations. But even if he's I don't have a list in front of me, even if he's call it the 12th best quarterback in the NFL or the 11th, some of these guys are moving up now. CJ Stroud maybe is in that top 10 now. I agree with what Frenchie was saying. I think he's your guy. I think paired with McDaniel, they've done a lot of really good things together. And I think if you can get him to a number like it was, I don't know if it was coincidental or it just happened this way, but Mahomes signed his deal and then Allen signed his deal and then Burrow signed his deal. Tua is not in that class in my estimation. So it can't be that Tua is now going to get more than those guys or equal to those guys. So if he can get at a number below those guys, just below that he's comfortable with, I think you sign him to a long-term deal. I think it could get messy if you let him go, if you don't sign him and this is the last year of his deal, and then are you franchise tagging him, and then that can get a little, and then at that point, the franchise tag gets expensive on a year-to-year basis. So I think if you can get a number with him that you're comfortable with, that's just below those premier top 5 guys, I think you do it. And as you guys know, following the Dolphins, as long as you have, finding a good sustainable quarterback isn't easy. So I don't know if you want to go into the scrap heap of free agency or through the draft again. But I think Tua right now is you stay the course with him and McDaniel. Where do you guys fall on that?
You got to keep him. You keep him. I disagree with. I don't care about the money between him and Joe Burrow. I don't think Joe Burrow is better than Tua. I think if you give him what you give him, you put him on the same platform. I'm taking Tua. I think a lot of us have the level, the step that Tua took this year. It's like fool's gold because he had to overcompensate for people talk. Oh, he has a great processor. He's a one-read quarterback because. And they also say he's a one-read quarterback because he has to let the ball go in 2.4 seconds. Your offensive line, they're not winning. They can't hold passes. They're not sustaining these battles. And I'll make cases for Austin Jackson being a great right tackle, but Austin Jackson's getting dog walked in a lot of these matchups. So I want to see him with an actual really good line. And a more balanced offense because after Tyreek and Waddle, it's nothing out here. Cedric Wilson is nowhere to be found. We have no tight ends. We don't pass the ball to the running back, which is mad weird to me when you have H.N. and these speedsters, which is crazy to me. But it also gives me an outlook to next year, to the growth in next year. So I'm not giving him the bag like Lamar Jackson, none of these guys. But I think if you have a tier 2, you put him in tier 2.5. And let it ride with that because he's not tier 3. When you put him at tier 3, you're talking about these other lesser than quarterbacks. So you have to figure out a balance. I'm with you in the payoff.
Yeah. And I think the big thing that is good for the Dolphins is he had to prove this year that he could stay healthy, right? I remember this time last year we were like, is Tua? Some people, was he going to play football again? How did he avoid concussions? So having played 17 games this year was huge for him. And he's gotten better every year. So, and that's something McDaniel said, as long as he continues to go like this in the learning process. But obviously we saw the limitations with the offense, with Tyreek being banged up and Waddle out and Mostert out. So, the offense from the Denver game scoring 70 wasn't the same thing we saw in versus Baltimore, Buffalo, and KC.
Right. No, go ahead, Chad.
No, I was just gonna say, I think the inconsistencies with the offensive line played a big part in his performance this season. Like we overall got a better performance than we're traditionally accustomed to, but it always seems like whenever those guys get pushed back into Tua's face, those passes start to sail high, and we start to see a little bit of the inaccuracies and things come in where you don't traditionally see that with him. You know what I mean? He's had some moments that this year where he's able to showcase some really good things, but there's still a lot of things that he does need to work on, making smarter decisions, living for the next play. You know what I mean? Stop trying to make the most out of every rep. There's a bunch of things that he needs to work on as a quarterback. You know what I mean? But I think it's a tough situation, especially when you have the Daniel Jones and of the world and these other guys making, $40+ million for you to say like, hey, this guy isn't worth it. You know what I mean? Because he's way better than those guys. If you want to say he's not better than Lamar or Joe Burrow, he hasn't accomplished as much. Okay, I get that. But with Daniel Jones' situation, I think that kind of like how what Christian Kirk did to the wide receiver market, it's kind of plateaued in a sense where it's like, it's kind of disrespectful if you come at anything under 40 million now.
Yeah, he can't make less than Daniel Jones. That contract's probably making a lot of GMs angry at this point. Yeah,
I blame Kyler Murray, man. I blame Kyler Murray. He's the one that started it off. He's the issue. Kyler Murray's the issue, and Kirk Cousins is the
Kyler Murray's a far more talented quarterback than Daniel Jones.
Facts, but he's 200 or something.
He's ridiculous money.
And then Deshaun Watson went in the OD. Let me get all of this.
Bro.
And he hasn't played well. He played well prior to getting paid, but since he's gotten paid, he hasn't lived up to that deal. So that can kind of hurt the market too, right? When these guys start getting paid and they aren't living up to their contracts, and the owners start looking at them like, well, we shouldn't be giving these guys as much money, So it's a give and take, man. But it's a tough situation because he's proven so much, but he still has so much to prove. But you're in a window in which you kind of got to make a decision within the next year or so. So I don't know if he'll even play on the 5th-year option.
We're better than Daniel Jones.
For sure. Yeah.
But let me ask you a question. Is it an insult if you give him a 3-year deal?
With his injury and durability concerns, I'm not sure if you accept that. You probably want that security, long-term security.
What you do is you give him a 5-year deal with a team opt-out at 3.
Yeah,
you can't come out here. You can't disrespect the kid and be like, just make it sound good, bro. All you gotta do is make it sound. The NFL is literally the make it sound good league. You make it sound good, and he thinks he getting money. And in 3 years, if he's not the guy, my brother, hey, listen, Archie Manning, there's a bunch of these kids out there, but you got to see it through. You can't walk away from this kid now because you can't tell me Kirk Cousins, Justin Fields, and the rest of these names are going to be better than the kids. So you got to pay him. You give him a 3-year, whatever it is.
I would do
with incentives, and if you make an all-pro team, if you win a playoff game, I'll bless you again. Make it impossible for him to reach the goals. You remember the old school Dolphin teams? We used to get Reggie Bush off the field, Ricky Williams. We'll make it work, man. We'll make it do what it do. But you can't give him the back. You got to respect him, but you can't give him 60. You can't give him that.
Go ahead, Yanni.
Yeah, if you do that, if you could do that 4 for 45, so that's 180, 4 for 180. You think he bites on that?
Yeah, I think so. And you gotta you sprinkle so make it sound good again. You make it sound good and you take it up.
Yeah, you put playoff wins as an incentive. That would make Dolphins fans happy.
If you look what we tried to do with Christian Wilkins last season, before coming into the season, we're like, look, if you get sacks, they try to make it incentivized. and he didn't take the bait. But I think Tua, given his history, injury history, which is kind of bogus because he can't even account the concussions because whatever is a freak accident. This season, he played 17 games. He got hurt his shoulder, hurt his back, whatever. He still played through everything. So he kind of showed durability, but you still can't take that chance because he's had 2 concussions. So one more and he's done. So you really have to go the 3 out type thing, unless you want to do some Kirk Cousins and just pay him all this guarantee money. And I don't think it's going to work with Stephen Ross that.
It's going to be interesting. That's for sure. It's going to be very interesting.
4 for 45 don't sound bad at all, man. With an opt out and you front loaded.
At the end of the day, it's going to be up to his representation, because he can say yes, this, and that. But I mean, their job is to try to get as much money for their client as possible, and especially
it's all about the guarantee too. I mean, that was the Deshaun Watson contract really
out of control.
And
listen, I'm all for people making money. You get as much money as you can, but Jesus.
Listen, man, you give that contract to a Lamar Jackson that has no outfield situation, right? You don't give it to Deshaun Watson coming off what he's coming off. You could give him the money, but you don't give him all that guarantee.
The Browns, I think, were so desperate they set this bad precedent, and I don't even know who they were competing. I mean, I'd have to go back and look. Who else was going after Watson? Obviously the Dolphins were rumored.
I think Atlanta. It was Atlanta and a couple other teams that were interested.
The Panthers, Atlanta, and the Browns. And the Browns at the end, he said no to the Browns. I think he was going to Atlanta, and at the final hour or something.
I think the Browns upped the fully guaranteed, and I think that swayed it. I think that's what swung it. I think he was going to consider Atlanta.
Bro, I don't know.
But I mean, now you can say they shouldn't have or they wouldn't have, but I mean, it's done now. So we as a team, we got to hope that our guy can fall somewhere in a favorable range for us, but you still want him to get, his money and be respected and be able to take care of his family. And with his agency, they're not gonna, they're all about their money.
Who's Tua's agent?
Athletes first.
Who's Tua's agent?
Athletes first.
The what's the guy's name? The best. David Mulugeta, I believe I want to say it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll tell you right now.
And the issue is, when you have a rookie on their rookie contract, that's really that window where you could try, once they get good and they're on that rookie contract. Then once they get paid, as you've seen, with Kansas City and Buffalo to a certain extent, the roster just gets a little bit less good because there's less money in that pot to give to everyone else. So this has been a luxury for Chris Grier the last 4 years, having Tua on his rookie deal.
Right. No, his agent, he says Tua will now be represented by Ryan Williams and Austin Lyman of Athletes First.
Hey, right. Okay.
He used to be Lee Steinberg.
Okay.
Oh, it's good. Lee Steinberg was I don't like Lee.
He was a heavy hitter.
I didn't like
yeah.
It does seem, though, that Grier in his history values high-end talent, whereas, there's a lot of guys on the Dolphins roster making a lot of money. So if you looked at the average salary for the Dolphins on like a spreadsheet, there's however many making a ton of money, and then the rest of the roster not making as much. So
it's top heavy.
Top heavy, right? So you look at Ramsey and Chubb and obviously Tyreek and Xavier Howard. So by that, if you go by Grier's history, then then he's not going to be afraid to give Tua the big contract.
I think. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Wally. Go ahead.
I mean, I got some sirens in the neighborhood, so you go ahead.
No, what I was gonna say is, it's hard to put a number on a player like that, especially a quarterback, because the ball's in his hands at all times, and the processing and the responsibilities that a quarterback has versus the results on the field. So what really do you quantify? What quantifies the salary? Because you look at, like, let's say you have the Herbert situation with the Chargers. He got paid, but he hasn't really done anything outside of, looking good. He looks the part, but he's a fourth quarter, interception machine. Lamar obviously is, he's an MVP winner and an MVP, probably going to win it again. But his playoff record is 1-3. Obviously, that's going to likely going to change this year. So what are the variables?
Yeah, I think it comes down to, can this quarterback win you a Super Bowl? And for some of those players like Mahomes and Lamar Jackson, we haven't seen it from Lamar, Josh Allen, they can lead you there. Others, you can win a Super Bowl with them as your quarterback. And then there's that third tier of you can't win with that guy. So Tua has yet to prove that he can put the team on his back and win playoff games and win to the Super Bowl. But the team that we saw in September, October, November, if they continued to play that way and injuries didn't happen and they were hosting as the 1 seed and they, got to the AFC Championship game and we were having this conversation, we'd be like, all right, Tua, pay Tua. So he has yet to prove it, like you're saying Herbert has, but it has to come. Can this quarterback, can you win a Super Bowl with this quarterback? And how much you need to put around him too. Ideally, it's one of those guys like a Mahomes where, he needs some weapons, but he doesn't need everything. And right now, Tua's got a lot of weapons. So if he can get protection on the offensive line consistently and stay with the weapons, I think you can win a Super Bowl with Tua. So that, makes him eligible for one of those huge deals.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's not an easy answer. I get it. I understand that. But
I think it is, bro. I think it is.
No. The reason, hold on. Let me. What I'm trying to say is that my issue is the leaning of the far left and the leaning of the far right of give him the money because or don't give him anything because he's not good enough. So it's not that clear cut. And mind you, I'm a big fan of it. I love the kid. I think he has it. I just think that people are just don't have the patience to go through the. I mean, for growing pains to happen, you have to have time, and they have to happen, whether it be with coaching or with players. And you have to be given that opportunity. And some people just don't want to give that. You have one chance, you're done.
Yeah, look at Jared Goff. Look at Jared Goff this week. I mean, he was
exactly.
The Rams traded him away. He's playing at a high level now. He's got confidence.
Look at Jordan Love.
Look, the thing is, listen. The thing is that there's no specific formula, and what's inevitable in the NFL. You're gonna fail. You're gonna encounter injuries, and you're gonna come back to earth. Like, look, Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert started with the kitchen on fire. Listen, these guys look apart. Joe Burrow is in the Super Bowl. What are they really doing right now? Right? They're not having the season that you can be like, but they showed you that they can, so you pay them off that. Same thing with Tua, you have to be like, all right, he started off bad. Now look at what happened with David Carr. David Carr quit. The number one in the world, David Carr didn't get. You would have quit in the situation. Tua stuck through it. Terrible coach. Showed you flashes, and now this finally show you something. So you have to. It's like when you have a lefty pitcher on baseball, right? He has that one good season. You give him the money because the stuff is there. You have to give it to him because he's gonna go somewhere else and ball. Because if you construct the right team around any quarterback that has any God-given talent, he'll win. Drew Brees is 5'9", bro. He's not 6'1". Stop playing me. He's short. You got him the right team around him, and everything worked out. He got you to the bowl. Eli Manning, you got everything around him, and it worked out. Those are two game managers. You could just as you want. Yep. Drew Brees is an elite game manager that'll get you stats, but you have to get the right things around these quarterbacks. And I don't think Tua yet has everything around him. And Patty Mahomes, when that offensive line would look bad
in that Super Bowl,
it was bad.
Yeah.
Now you seen Patty Mahomes. Oh my God, he makes his plays, but he's not putting 5,000 passing yards no more. It's just talent. It's just hey, this kid has it. He breaks a run here and there. He's not giving you these gaudy numbers no more. But it's come down to earth. But now you can win with it. And I think franchises have to make the decision whether once that guy comes down to earth and the money evens out, is he going to be a guy you can win with? And that's where the conundrum lies.
Yeah. Guys, I got to run, but it was great jumping on with you. Appreciate it.
Hey, you have a good one, brother.
Appreciate your time, man. Have a great one. Take care.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Chad, you staying with you keeping Wilkins? You're muted.
You're muted, my boy.
Oh,
I got him.
Depends on the money.
How much you giving him?
What's your threshold?
24?
No,
I'm going back to 16.
16 to 18.
Yeah.
He's not
I'm
going
going
to take
back to 16. If he's not taking 16 to 18,
But it really depends on what else we have going on the roster, who stays, who goes. It's going to be a complex situation as far as all that. But
how much is the Justin Simmons cost you?
About 18 to 20, somewhere in there. He was expensive.
How much did the CJ Garner cost you?
Who?
CJ Gardner Minshew.
The safety. Gardner Minshew.
Whatever his name is. Homie from the line.
The safety.
I don't know. Maybe 8 to 12. I'm not sure.
I think you say that money, go get him and get you and get your. I think we need more safeties than we need DTs in the system.
I mean, you need DTs, bro. You still need DTs. It's tough, bro, because you have to already think about the deficiencies we're dealing with on the edges. Those still need to be as well.
Honestly, we need to go get another fucking David Long. We need 2 to 3 David Long. If our linebacker, if we had
what's your profanity?
If we had 2 David Longs at linebacker, specifically like that middle linebacker position, it'll bolster that secondary position from the safety position. I
tweeted out my number 1 free agent target already now.
I saw that.
From the Carolina Panthers. He can give you all that coverage, run stopping ability, playmaking ability, tenacity. Got that Samoan culture, which I think would be good to add into the team. I think we need more guys who have that different kind of mentality, that finishing mentality. We've seen a lot of times where guys are olaying in the open field.
Oh man!
And nobody wants to smack anybody, bro. Like, I need dogs.
When I saw that, I didn't notice that. I saw in the game, but I wasn't really. You couldn't see it at game speed. When I saw that replay, I was like, how did not anybody just lay Mahomes out?
It's not the first time it's happened, though. Remember?
It's been happening. It's been happening.
Remember the Stefon Diggs play in week 3 on the sideline where he was wrapped up and the guy comes up while he's already engaged with someone else and just hands out and then he runs through 2 guys. Like, bro, nobody wanted to lay him out. Like, somebody's holding that guy. Someone should come and just
blow him up. Like, I'm oh man.
Look,
we can here. My bad, French. What you was about to say?
Go ahead, French.
I was just gonna say that's the play. That play that has killed us. That play of an extension play of the quarterback where he's running. You see Josh Allen do it where it's a 3rd down, a 3rd and 15, and they scrambling out the pocket and nobody's coming up to lay the wood and get us off the field. That plays indicative of why we haven't been to the playoffs and why we haven't won a playoff game. Because those plays specifically that Mahomes played, Josh Allen does that against us, and there's nobody other than, you'd say Wilkins and Sealer, but you're not getting that kind of, I don't know.
I think what it goes back to, you got to be physical, right? And these guys, they weren't physical, bro. Like that's why I was very hyped on Brandon Jones. When Brandon Jones, he was more physical laying his own teammates out than he was with the opposing team.
He really was.
It's bro. When Chad was making these arguments, I had to fight for my own life because I didn't want to agree with Chad, but he's absolutely right. Like, Brandon Jones hit his own players harder than he hit opposing players. Like, I've ever since Josh Allen came into the league, the Dolphins players have become soft. They've never tackled Josh Allen not one time hard. Not one time.
No. I saw Wilkins one time.
Barely, yes. There's been a time where he had to run downfield and he caught him on him for that play. But we need more of that consistent presence in the middle of the field who can be that that presence to kind of do a lot. Like, I like David Long, don't get me wrong, but I still think he's a bit limited in his capabilities as a coverage guy. And I think if you added someone else who kind of complemented him well, like we kind of were starting to see with Jerome Baker, you know what I mean? I think you can get a better guy to complement David Long. And I think the combination of the two will give you what you're looking for from that position.
Do you think Baker comes back?
Coach, let me ask you a question, Coach. When Tom Brady was asked about Jason Taylor, what did that man need to do? Or Cameron Wake? He's specific. He will win Super Bowl.
How many times have I told you guys in our conversations what my number one need and want from this defense is? And I know that they don't grow on trees. I get it. But I've been pounding the table for 2 seasons. I need a guy on the edge that quarterbacks are afraid of, that offensive coaches have to game plan and find a way to stop this guy. That changes the game.
He was coming on. I think Jalen Phillips was becoming that guy.
He was, but the thing about it is Jalen Phillips and Chubb are both dealing with injuries that are probably going to keep them out or at least limited for the early parts of the season. So you don't know what's going to happen with Van Ginkel. He could end up pricing himself out. We'll see what happens with that. I think from my personal gatherings from the Hard Knocks, I saw his wife kind of alluding to being happy here and wanting that stability. So hopefully that plays in our favor with the negotiations and everything. But you never really know because pass rushers are a premium. So he played well, very well in a limited role. And when he got more snaps, his numbers got better. So teams could look at that. It only takes one. You know what I mean? It only takes one team to get in and ruin it. So, right. So we'll see what happens with that. But if you don't have him right now, Ogba's gone. You don't really have much behind them. You're going to need something there. I think that's something you definitely need to address this coming up offseason and adding to that presence. And just regardless, I think we were just missing a guy. And that's why they went out and got that Melvin Ingram and did everything that they did because we're still missing a guy. So either way, you still need to reinforce your pass rush, spruce up your back end, and you need to get a guy in the middle. So, but we have a bunch of resources to do it all. So they're gonna have to be creative, and we're gonna do a lot of scouting. So I trust you, right guy, ability to get this part done.
I think if they're gonna get another linebacker to pair with David Long because David Long he's alpha, but just like he said, he's limited. If you get him a coverage linebacker that could go from side to sideline, maybe homie from like the guy you're talking about, the Panthers, that makes our linebacker core elite.
Well, there's a guy on the roster that hasn't seen any playing time for whatever reason.
Stop it. Guy. No, stop it. He can go.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. But
if you let me, I think in year 2, he can become Duke Riley.
Who, Tyndall?
Yeah, year 2 in this system. Yes,
maybe.
Because Van Ginkel is in a price himself out. And let me ask you a question. You're thinking Van Ginkel at what price? Outside linebacker pass rusher or middle linebacker price?
Ooh, well, we talked about that earlier.
I don't know. I was thinking somewhere in that $8 to $10 million range.
So you're paying him 8 to 10 to what? To linebacker or to middle linebacker?
To do what he does, to be versatile.
To be a versatile.
Be versatile.
A Swiss Army knife, bro.
Yo, Minkah Fitzpatrick just had a dolphin moment. He threw somebody, he tried to slam him, but he just got up and can't run it. He got a touchdown. Game over.
And offensively, bro, we need some guys who can attack those second level defenders and separate open and get open quickly. I'm going to be curious to see what this team goes out and do, but I got my eye on a bunch of different things. So hopefully the team is aligned in our line of thinking and what we need to add to this roster, and they go out and are able to get it done, and we're able to keep the guys we want to keep and all that. But it's going to be a tough thing, and we're going to have plenty of conversations come this offseason about a variety of different things. But what I wanted to ask you guys this, what grade are you giving on the season, and what do you think this team needs the most? If there's one thing you could add, not necessarily.
I'm going like
position group by position group.
Not necessarily a position group. Not necessarily that. Like a general thing. that you think the team could use, and what's your grade on this season?
I'm going last.
I give the season a C plus. I was gonna give it a C minus, but I only give it a C plus out of like effort and emotion on the front half of the season. I give it a C minus on the back half of the season because we didn't win the division when we had a 3-game lead. I feel like kind of and I feel like I don't want to get into a long soliloquy really quick, but
you don't?
I feel like McDaniels. I feel like McDaniels is gonna get better from this season and be a little tougher moving forward. You know, we all like the substitute teacher that comes in and let us have a good time, but you know, the clock's on with a lot of people. The clock's on with me about Cam Smith. Cam Smith's already had his first strike in my book. So I say I'll get a season a C plus, C minus. And the one thing that needs to change is I would just say specifically with McDaniels. Like I love the player coach, but you know, sometimes you got to put foot in ass in January and February. Go ahead, Wally.
Wow. I'm gonna give it a D plus.
A what?
A D plus.
A D plus?
I don't want to say that. I mean, pause. So D plus. So we underachieved in a lot of ways. Like you could give Tua an A for playing 17 games. Give him an A for leading the league in passing. But let's talk about it. The growth of being a quarterback. You have more interceptions this year. You know what I mean? You had more times to be an offensive line. The team was on the way to dominate. And yes, you had injuries, but other teams have injuries too, and they came and took care of business. And you fumbled the bag. You had a 3-game lead, and then what did you do? You stunk it up in the playoffs. Offensively, you failed to score more than 14 points against any team with a winning record this season. You put 19. The most you did was 19 against the Ravens. So as a whole, the future is bright, but you know, when you have 100, right, and you start getting all these wrong answers, it kind of decimates your score. You have A's here, but you have F's in other places. We still have illegal players going down the field. We still had all-star calls. We still have plays getting in late. You know what I mean? So you didn't show any growth on a third target. You didn't show any uses of the tight end. So it's a D. And you got to get more physical. They got to get more physical. However they want to do it, get more physical. Stop being soft.
For me, I'll say this really quick. Quarterback play was amazing. Tua stayed healthy. At times, there was a little bit of things that we would have liked for it to be better, but overall, we've had statistically the best quarterback season since Dan Marino was a quarterback. Running game was awesome. Mostert, Achane was a big surprise for us. The wide receiver balled all season. Waddle was very inconsistent up and down. Tight ends were non-existent. Offensive line was a surprise, and it was a lot better than a lot of people expected. Defensive line was really good. Linebackers got better as the year went on, and the secondary was up and down. So I think where Wally's in that C range, I think I'm in that C range too, just based off of everything that happened. I think there's a lot of good things and a lot of bad. In that C plus range, I think that's just about right. C plus. I'm tempted to go B minus. Had things gone maybe a little bit better as far as the division and things like that. I think we could have easily been a B plus A. You know what I mean? And I think the way the season ended kind of like soured us down. So I think C plus is actually a good grade. Wally, I actually agree with you on that.
No, I think
I get on boys a D plus.
Who said C plus? French. I'm sorry, French.
I said D plus.
Yeah, he said D.
D plus. My bad. Wally said D.
Say D. Ain't nobody giving nobody D out here, man. Pause.
D plus for a Dominican diva.
Hey, yo. What you got? What you got, Coach?
What you got, Coach?
Nah, and listen, I originally when I was thinking about it, I was like, man, I'm just gonna give it incomplete, just to be a contrarian, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do that.
You're such a coach, man.
But no, hey, for real though, like I think a C+ is warranted. I think it's
C+?
No, yeah, and I'll tell you why. There was growth in certain areas of the team. There were some things that were out of the coaches and the staff's control as far as injuries is concerned. So that affects the way your overall grade. There are some areas that players need to learn and get better. And you got to bring in Chris Grier as well. I mean, there's some things that he did good. There's some things that he didn't really or wasn't able to address. I think he did a good job at the end of the year trying to get bodies in here to try to fill in this, for a playoff game. And he did, for the most part, address some positions with some bargain basement, shopping. Some of those guys ended up getting hurt. So, but no, without continuing to ramble, C+ I think is on point. That being said, I think the future, we're on the right track. And I'll continue to say this, and you're going to hear me say this over and over again. The only way that you go through things and you have growing pains is through the experience. So you have to go through these things to be able to succeed.
Coach.
Yes, sir.
Can I make one quick point really quick? And you're a little bit older than me, and you can maybe help.
A little bit older than you?
Just 1 or 2 mango seasons.
Go ahead.
Even with Dan Marino, when he was playing in his heyday, people still had an issue with Dan. It's in revisionist history when people are gone that we have this painted picture of how noble they were and how great they were and how much we cheered them on. But like, it's almost kind of what we give Tua. Dan Marino was getting the same thing. So like, and this is why I said on the time, I'm not going to allow y'all to like try to rewrite history, because like the same way people bark about Tua is the same way they bark about Dan Marino, and it was the same way they barked about Shula. It's now in revisionist history that we sit back and say how great it was, and I'm pretty sure years from now we can look back at this and be like, oh, this was such a great, you know what I mean? But like we can't have this like this painted brush memory of what is and where we're at right now, and want to scrap it and go on to something else, because like this is almost what Chad say, like this is the best we've had since Marino.
French, I'm old enough to remember when they turned on Marino and Shula. I remember that. I remember them boys. Shula didn't leave of his own validity. He didn't just get to walk away.
Nope.
He was working hard.
He was making out.
Jimmy Johnson thought it was going to be the greatest thing to slice bread, and it wasn't.
But
he never lived up to the hype. And Dan was pushed out. Everyone was like, "Oh, he's playing through injury. He can't stay healthy."
No.
It wasn't, bro. Like, everyone, it is what it is, bro.
Hold on, really quick.
Look.
Go ahead, Wally.
Let's talk about. We could talk about the past and all that, but I want to ask you guys a question. Give it, and let me paint a quick picture. Mike picked up a team coming off a rebuild that wasn't finished, complete, because Brian Flores did not get to complete his rebuild. Coming off of Adam Gase's rebuild. So, I'll ask you this. Do you think these guys, these coaches, have their guys?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Because I think they don't. I think they're making it work and making it do, but I don't think they do. So, what do you guys think?
Wally, do you give, like, in my mind, and I'll just answer this before I'll pass it to you. That way I'm on the record. Like, I give McDaniels the long string with this. Like, I want to see it through. Like, we have so much inconsistency and changing it. You gotta ride something out. You gotta ride it out.
You gotta give them the Mike Tomlin. You gotta give them the Mike Tomlin time. The Bill Belichick.
Yeah, you got
time,
to.
The Harbaugh time. You have to. They don't have their guys, bro. I keep looking at this roster. When you guys Me and Coach is talking about this for like a whole 45 minutes.
Yeah,
We don't this is not a Mike McDaniels and Vic Fangio like idealistic team. Like you have the pieces in a certain spot. You have Tyreek Whittle, which is Tyreek and Waddle, which is what they like. They don't have a tight end. They want it. They need their tight end. They don't have a tight end. They have their running back going forward. Now they found their running back, and they're still gonna add another one to that. They don't have a third wide receiver. We don't have. We thought we had one easy, but we don't. We don't know that yet. We don't have a left guard. Vic Fangio doesn't have his safeties. He's not his safeties. Javon Holland is.
Hey, we got good news on Easy today. His career injury isn't career threatening.
Yeah, I saw that.
But you still got to draft another one.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, bro. Like Mike McDaniel picked up the scraps of 2 rebuilds with 0 power and with 0 personnel say. And now he's showing you that what he needs. And Chris Grier went and got a little bit of this season. He's gonna do it going forward.
Hold on, we got some breaking news here from the audience. I wanted to share with you guys. Finn's Mechanic says that you guys rock.
Oh wow.
Go ahead, Wally.
No Finn's Mechanic. I don't want to hear any of that. How about that?
Hey, you guys, it's. I know this is gonna sound kind of stupid, but it's kind of like what Mario's going through at the U, and every new coach goes through that. They start, they got to get their guys in to be able to, run the things that they want to run, and you can't really make a square peg fit in a round hole. They're gonna get their pieces, and what French was saying is 100% accurate. And we've been talking about this for a long time. You got to see things through, man. You can't just give up and say, "Oh, after a year or 2 years, did it work?" I mean, this isn't the Denver situation where they had what's the coach over there that
Sean Payton?
No, not Sean, the guy before, the one he replaced. That was a shit show, and then they ended up getting Sean
Watch
Payton.
your profanity.
I forgot his name. What was his name?
Hackett.
There you go.
Yeah,
Hackett. Right.
The Jets coach.
That's not what we have here. Okay, that's not the situation we have here. So,
but you know what it is, Coach.
People need to practice patience, bro, and take the good for what it is, the good, and let's build on that.
Wait, let me ask y'all this one question: how do we come back next season as that gritty team?
You gotta get physical. You gotta get guys that put fear in people's eyes, dog. And you gotta have grown people conversations and realize this is about yourself. You gotta move on for certain players, and you gotta make. Go ahead, Coach.
No. I'm sorry, Wally. What I was gonna say is, you establish the identity. You want to be a physical team. You want to be run the ball, beef up that offensive line, get guys that want to pound people into the ground. Okay. And just blow them off the ball. And on the defensive side, get guys that want to tear people's helmets off. I don't want to see any more two-hand touch. Football's a contact sport.
That right there to me.
See, it's people when people hear these kind of conversations, they say, "Well, we have a good team." It's not the quality of talent; it's the mentality of the quality. It's the play, the temperament of the quality. You know what I mean? We have a bunch of nice, good guys who could all probably be up for the Walter Payton Man of the Year. They're doing great stuff within the community. They're great personalities. They stay out of trouble. We need more grit from the personalities and the types of guys we bring. We need guys who are a little bit more rough around the edges. We need more sealers. And David,
we need people that want to hit people. I don't need people that want to have record deals. I don't want,
bro. You just need
models. I don't need
guys. Like, have enough of those.
We have enough guys with money that want to wear Givenchy and all this designer stuff and be at strip clubs. I need guys that want that they're in the lab working, cause like you guys got too cute this year. Like a lot of you guys got too cute.
You know what I would give? You know what I would give to have like a John Randall,
bro. Just what's this
guy Harrison, the linebacker from Pittsburgh.
Well, just give me Zach Thomas. Just give me one Zach Thomas. Just give me one.
That coach, that's the mentality we need.
That's what
We
I'm
need
saying.
that Richie. We need
Give
that
me
Richie
one.
mentality.
I wish
On
we
the
had
offensive
Richie
line,
on the
yes.
line right now. I wish we had. Ain't no Richie in the
Bro,
line
give me
right now.
give me Jamie Nails, bro.
Bro.
Give me some Richie Incognitos and some Max Crosbys on his team.
Hey.
We need some more gritty, edgy types that we could add onto this roster. We have the culture to keep those kind of guys in check where they won't spiral out of control. I think that we could fit some of those personalities in with what we have. We have a strong leadership group on both sides of the ball. You know what I mean? The coaching staffs are good, established. You know what I mean? Like we can do more in that regard, but it's not necessarily like go out and spend big money to get it. It's just a type of guys that we're bringing in. I think that we could use just a little bit more guys who just can bring some of that edginess in the trenches on both sides of the ball, and from the wide receiver blockers and tight ends who can do stuff after the catch. There's a bunch of little things that you can. There's ways you can fuse that physicality and grittiness into the team.
And to me, really quick, can I push an off-season agenda?
Are we drafting a nickel?
No.
I'm gonna push an off-season agenda.
Hold on, French. Hold on. Put a pin in that for a second. What or not? Who is going to be? Are we going to go back to Cater again?
What do you mean? Are we going to go back to Cater again?
Yeah, you say we're not drafting a nickel.
Bro, what we have a first, a second, a fifth, a sixth, and a seventh. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Okay, so forget about drafting. Let's say, are we gonna find another nickel?
I mean, in a perfect world, yeah, but you got to you might have to replace X.
You have to replace X.
No, you have.
You might have to. So you got bro, what you gonna redo the whole DB room, redo the whole linebacker room, bringing in edges, bringing in wide receivers. What are we doing?
We overhauled the offense, didn't we?
I'm good with my edges.
Team though, there's a lot of things that people we go into every offseason with things that we want to see, right? And I think that Cater had a up and down season, but we can't forget what he did last season before this. You just were throwing out all over.
You still need more. You still need more. If let's say Cam Smith becomes a starter, you still need another one behind him.
No, yes, for sure. Exactly. So you still need Cam Smith's not going to be in the nickel. He's going to be on the boundary.
I'm speaking towards your ex comment. For sure.
You still need another guy regardless, because you don't know what you got in Cam
Smith. Look, I don't care what anybody says. Cam Smith's going to replace X or whoever we draft or whoever we sign.
Yeah, we're not going to get him.
He should, right? Then moving forward, we need better than Nick Needham behind Cater Kohou.
Sure.
You need a guy to at least maybe to push Cater Kohou to be great. Because if you're looking at Nick Needham, he ain't pushing you. He ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? In a perfect world, I will move on from Deshaun Elliott, but he played well enough to come back.
Bye-bye.
But I want to move on. I don't think he's the guy. Me and him, after that Lamar comment, me and him are never gonna be good. We ain't never gonna be good. I told Coach we might move on from every receiver outside of Tyreek, Waddle, and Easy.
I mean, we got a good enough foundation to really strip it down and really reload and this team 60%. Cause we keep 40 and rebuild 60.
No, I think it'll be the other way around. Chris spoke about it in the press conference. He said that we have the core, but there's always going to be 30, 40, 45% rotation. Exactly.
Let's talk about foundational pieces. Tyreek, Waddle, Tua, Monster with A-Chain, you good?
No.
A-Chain.
No, A-Chain, but no Mostert, not foundational.
But 1 and 2, and you could draft. You're gonna have that one, which is A-Chain. He's the one. You could.
Well, A-Chain to me, I don't think he's ready to be one yet.
He could be Listen, if you come back,
Complimentary
if you
piece
come
right now,
back
I
next
think
season
more
with
so.
if you come back next season with HM Mustard, and you get someone, you might get King Henry, whatever you want. But
Whoever, whatever,
my
you
point is that
free agent
you
or
good.
draft, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you good. You're good there. You're good with the wide receivers. Nothing in the tight ends. Right?
I like as a number 2. I think Julian Hill can be a great number 3.
He's not a foundational piece. You need to
Oh,
get better.
but neither is Mostert, and you named him in the group.
No. I told you with A-Chain and Mostert going forward, you do have a foundation there.
No, I disagree. I disagree there.
That's fine. I agree. I think if you don't think A-Chain's gonna give you 1,000+ yards next season, he should have been his team.
A-Chan. If you say just A-Chan as a foundational piece, then I'll give you that. But when you say most,
and then you add Mustard to that, you have
I can't agree that there are together foundational complementary pieces, especially because
himself he's foundational. I told you him by himself is foundational.
Well, A-Chan by himself is a foundational piece. Yes.
I told
you. Tyreek foundational, Waddle foundational. Yes. After that, maybe you go Robert Hunt, Connor, Austin. Not really.
Look, the offense, you have what you need. You could add, you could sprinkle and fix. If you go to the defense, here's where the questions lie. Because you could say Jalen Ramsey's a foundational piece, but how many years you got on Jalen Ramsey? 2 to 3, maybe?
Maybe, yeah.
Depends. He could transition and be here for another 5 to 6 years. Who knows?
You know what I mean? Javon Holland, boom, piece. Right?
Foundational piece, yes.
I agree, yes.
Bradley Chubb.
It's in the same window as Ramsey, 2 to 3 years probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Jalen Phillips. I would say foundational, given it.
Foundational piece.
Linebackers.
Wilkins. Hold on. Wilkins.
Nah,
I don't think he's a foundational piece.
I don't think so.
I think Seal is a bigger foundational piece than him right now.
Wilkins, he's a part of this team, and he's a big part of this team, and I love Christian Wilkins. I just
you know who Christian Wilkins is?
The money, bro. I don't know. I just want to see how the team's gonna attack it. To be honest, I'm on the fence about the foundation.
This might be disrespectful, and y'all might not agree, but Christian Wilkins is like Jimmy Butler.
No, bro.
Hit me up.
He's more like Tyler Hero, bro. What are you talking about?
No, not even close.
Whoa.
Because there's upside. There's upside that you already know what you got with Christian Wilkins. Christian Wilkins is your best player. He shows out, and then he has that bomb ass game, and then if he doesn't have the help, he can't ball. He ain't do nothing.
Hey, maybe it could also be that Christian's play is also what elevates Sealer's game.
I think it does. I think it's what helps.
I think it does, but it's not worth $27 million.
No.
24. He's 22.
I never forgive y'all for telling me I tried to divide the fan base when I was making a point this whole season.
Well, you can benefit off all the work, you know, and you can make the plays, you know.
All right.
Check out what Claudio said.
So are we saying? So are we saying he's a foundational piece, Christian Wilkins?
No.
Sealer?
Wait, time out. I would say yes at the right price.
Well, I guess, yeah. Sealer's at the right price, and he's acceptable. We don't gotta even discuss that part. Sealer's definitely a foundational piece. Sealer and Wilkins ideally could be foundational. It's just to Coach's point on the price point.
But then this is what I was trying to tell y'all. If Chris Greer would have paid him that $20 million and he put the same numbers up, Zach Sealer had a better season than Christian Wilkins. Sorry, it's fact.
Whatever. Let's move to linebackers.
Oh
no, because this is a long conversation. This is a worthy conversation for another day because Sealer's numbers could be affected by or in turn linked with Wilkins' production.
This is why you go get it. This is why you go get Lamar Taylor from UM. And you put him right next to you put him right next to
Leonard Taylor.
Leonard Taylor. You get Leonard Taylor from UM. You pair him right there with Big Dog, and you good. You use that money for something else. He's Christian Wilkins. You can't tell me that he has better pass rush moves. That kid's a monster. I want him with Cam Kitchens.
Let's go. Oh man.
Let me ask y'all this.
Cam Kitchens with Haaland?
And Haaland? Shut it down, baby. The no-fly zone.
That'll be available both in the draft and free agency. Free agency is strong as safety. So
is this Christian Wilkins ceiling?
I think so.
You know he pushed himself to get those nice sacks.
I think an 8 to 10 sack player is who he is. With a good run stopper who can get you 8 to 10 sacks in the
where it comes down to it is we're finding ourselves in the Oliver Vernon Oliver. You remember with the guy from UN that we had? We're finding ourselves in that same predicament.
It's tough. And to KB's point, when the issue is you have Sealer at 10 mil, right? So you pay Wilkins 20?
No, ain't no way.
Ain't no way.
16?
But hold on.
That really, honestly.
But hold on. Let's say Chris Greer would have gave him that contract going into the season. What will we be saying right now?
I mean, he played well, so I don't think we'd be
not 20, not 22 mil.
I mean, honestly, I don't know. It's tough to say.
Y'all be saying Christian Wilkins owe y'all money.
Nah,
he played
I'm gonna tell you like.
And I went to those games. I seen Zach Sealer getting a double teams with my own eyes.
Yeah, but wait, hold on. But Wilkins did too.
They both were, and that's what I'm saying. So you can't say one isn't the other. So if it's a science project and you got both variables going at the same thing, Zach Sealer had the better season.
Yeah, it's tough, bro. It's tough.
No, it ain't tough. It's a tough pill to swallow.
No, it's tough. It's a tough decision because Christian Wilkins played well, right? He played well. The problem is Zach Sealer also played well, and he's making $10 million. Christian Wilkins played well, and he wants 20 plus. That's the whole thing about it. It's not that he didn't play up to his status or he didn't do what we needed him to do. He did kind of give us exactly what we wanted from him. It's just when you have Sealer doing it at half the price or, 25%, it doesn't even make sense to overextend yourself when you already have so many players and things you're trying to keep to go ahead and overextend yourself for a player that didn't even outperform someone else, what I'm saying, on the team who a lot more affordable. So it's just a tough situation, bro. It's tough.
I'm gonna tell you what it is. Listen, you're not bringing back Christian Wilkins. You're not, because you're gonna give Jalen Phillips the money. You already gave Bradley Chubb the money. You're gonna draft or pick or plug and play players, because if you believe that Jalen Phillips is that dude, he's gonna get double teamed. So is Bradley Chubb. So is Sealer. So you don't really need Christian Wilkins. That's overkill. Get that money allocated elsewhere. Christian Wilkins, I appreciate you, big dog. Good luck being a Patriot, dog. Go whatever, a Titan or go to the Vikings.
Hey, Christian Wilkins, if you do it, you're dead to me.
Whatever, bro. I don't really care.
He love Boston, and Christian Wilkins. Wilkins got a little bit of the towel pull in him. He'll do that to us.
Let's say out of those 10 sacks that Cedar got, 5 of those were half because of Christian Wilkins, right? So half of those sacks, I'm gonna allocate it to effectiveness of Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips, and getting better linebackers and having better coverage. So I'm good, bro. I'm gonna allocate that. That's not worth 24. It's not even worth.
That's what I've been saying. You can't. There's other places that you can allocate, again, using the same word, allocate that money to improve the overall roster rather than focusing it all on one player.
Christian Wilkins gets you 2 linebackers, middle linebackers.
You get
linebackers right now.
That linebacker and that safety.
You feel me? You feel me?
I'm sorry,
I love you, Christian.
No. And he's a big part of the locker room, bro. We drafted him, the whole thing, but bro, sometimes you gotta say,
that's him and Robert Hunt right there. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's their money right there.
Yeah.
Those guys are old holdovers that were great, and the nostalgia has to be there. And I have mad respect. X is one of my favorite players, but X and Christian Wilkins, in order for us to thrive, you guys gotta go, bro. Unless you guys want to take team friendly deals, and I think your talent supersede our bank in our future. Because when people say, oh, once you pay the quarterback, you can't win. No. Yes, you can. You just gotta stop paying other people and get cheap service elsewhere. So you gotta cut the fat. And
now hold on. Don't get me wrong. I want Christian Wilkins to make $26 million a year, but on the Vikings, or on the Panthers, I just can't give you that. Send him, to the
you
NFC.
Gonna be a Raider, dog. You be a perfect Raider.
He didn't get his money. That's the thing. You can't say he didn't earn his money. It's just like
I want him to get paid all the money, but
we have on. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough.
We have other things that we have to take care of. That's just the way it is.
Look, he prioritize himself.
Man, I want Xavier Howard to retire a Dolphin, but the money, bro, like we can't pay you that kind of money.
No, and what he said in the press conference today, I mean, it's pretty clear. I mean, I'd be very surprised if he's coming back, bro.
I love X, man. He's been a great player. Probably top. No, not even probably. He's top 2 to 3 Dolphin cornerbacks of my lifetime for sure.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, it's him and Sam Madison and Patrick Tank.
Well,
T-Buck
for me as well. Brent Grimes was very good.
But I mean,
he was here for a short time.
Like you know what I mean? Like T-Buck.
Well, yeah. I put Grimes over T-Buck, but yes, you're good. I love T-Buck.
T-Buck got out the mud for me, baby.
T-Buck, stop it.
Nah, Grimes
I'm not talking
had
about
that dog.
skills. I'm talking about emotional.
Yeah, in a different reality, you put that young Grimes on this team, we might be snapping. At that Kadar position.
Don't get me started on Kadar, bro. His name is Kadar. It's not Kadar.
Kadar.
I don't even know what to call him anymore.
He had a terrible season, dog.
We had so much high expectation for him.
Yeah, I mean,
hey, it might be a sophomore slump, bro.
Who do you think exceeded expectations the most, and who was the biggest disappointment as far as expectations on from the players on this team?
You can go Jerome Baker. You go Jerome Baker and Kader Kohu, and you pick an extreme.
I say Jalen Waddle probably for me was the biggest disappointment this year.
But he was injured.
Yeah, he was hurt.
But I mean, so what?
Kader Kohu had no excuse. He was just bad.
I mean, but my expectations for Kader weren't as high as they were for Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle is a guy who I was having in the conversations of being better than a Jamar Chase, being,
I had him at 2K, bro. I had him at 2K.
Yeah, we expected a lot from Jalen Waddle this season. And for me, I know it's a combination of injuries and the target share and everything, but I didn't. For me, it was a very disappointing season for Jalen Waddle.
Look, let's do this. Let's pick one on both sides, so we could look. So I'll go. So I'll go on offense. Jalen Waddle, biggest disappointment. The biggest surprise is Raheem Morrison.
Biggest surprise, Zach Sealer.
We're talking about offense.
Offense.
Right now, we'll do
biggest disappointment on offense, Durham Smythe. I called you tight end 1. We got Mike Gesicki the hell up out of here for you to rise. And I feel like you blended in and you got lost in the sauce. You got lost in the motion.
I believe Durham Smythe was 3rd in targets after Waddle and Tyreek.
I believe that.
I'd say Waddle's gonna be my biggest disappointment, my biggest surprise. I'm gonna go Achane. I think Achane was better than I thought he would be initially. I thought it was.
I remember you pushing back on that notion.
But Achane, I think Achane probably my biggest surprise on offense. He was very good for a rookie.
My biggest surprise is Liam.
No, my biggest surprise is Austin Jackson.
That's a good one. Austin was a good one.
Well, 1 and 2.
I say
Liam because Liam had the lowest bar as far as output, he was the quote unquote the weakest link of the team, and in the fire and the hottest, he stood tall.
No, he didn't. He didn't stand tall.
Stop, cap. Okay, let's do that.
I say, hey, listen, I say that to say he was available. He was available.
But he didn't play well. He was okay. You know what I'm saying? He was
because you showed up doesn't mean that
now. But then let me ask you this question.
Versatility this season. I was surprised that he was able to do what he did, but it's not like he played well.
But let me ask you this.
Expectations though, for sure.
How much, and just on the percentile, and I want you to answer this to Wally and Coach. What would you say we've got out of Liam? Like 60%? It's like 40% left in the tank. It's 70%. It's it's 40% still.
Talking about Liam?
Yeah.
Every drop of fucking
drop of Liam.
Part of Liam. Sorry.
That's it. That's cap. That's maxed out.
Yeah, he maxed out.
He that Volkswagen that's maxed out at like 60 miles an hour.
No, he's a side. He's
maxed out.
He's a side. He's not the Volkswagen. He's a side. He's pretending to be a Volkswagen. He's not even a Volkswagen. Stop.
You're really sad with that weird back, bro. That car was wild.
Yeah, bro. Like, look, Liam. The reason why Liam overachieved because we had such a low bar that we had nowhere to go but up with that guy. So, nah. Cut it out. Let's move on to the defense, guys.
Biggest surprise.
Go ahead, Fred.
Biggest surprise is Zach Sealer.
Well, that's a big surprise for me that he picked Zach Sealer.
Wow, shocking.
And the biggest disappointment to me is Brandon Jones. I thought Brandon Jones was going to ascend this season. Yeah, he was coming off an injury, but I feel like when I think of Brandon Jones, I feel like a lot of these guys now, I don't want to say I don't want to be disrespectful, but I feel like I have more mystique of some of these guys in my head than they were able to actually execute on the field. So I don't know.
I'm going to go with Van Ginkel as my biggest surprise. I think he exceeded expectations. When Phillips and Chubb got banged up, he was a guy that we were depending on. It was unfortunate he got hurt, but for me, I'm going to go Van Ginkel as my biggest surprise on defense, and my biggest disappointment, I'm tempted to go Jerome Baker.
Why, bro?
Why? He has beef with Mechanic. It has to be.
It's nothing with Mechanic. It's the money and the expectations of a guy who's been here the longest. Like, he showed up at times, but it wasn't consistent at all. Especially the early part of the season, he left a lot to be desired. And when he did come on strong, he ended up getting hurt. And then we didn't really get to see the fruits of that. So it's just, for me, it was kind of disappointing. Because I was hoping that he could plateau and reach that next level and take our defense to that next level. And it kind of just fizzled out. So I don't know. But for me, I was really disappointed. I was tempted to guess maybe, but
he's breaking down.
You took it. I just said you just said it. X. He's my biggest disappointment. Given like my expectation for X and who I thought he could be. And I remember arguing with people about him being better than Jalen Ramsey, bro. And you remember being me in his spaces, muting people, talking about, "Hey man, we can't trade this guy." Now I'm leading the charge. Let's get rid of this guy, cause he disappointed me so bad, bro. It was is terrible. And my biggest surprise is Van Ginkel. Van Ginkel, you have to go with Van Ginkel. I have to, because I was in the mindset, hey man, let him walk. And when he played for us, man, listen, when he went, bro, I promise, I'll tell you one thing: if Van Ginkel's playing this game, I think we win. That's how big of I was surprised he was. How much of an impact maker he was for me.
KD's asking if we would bring back Baker if he's willing to take a pay cut. My issue with Baker is, like, for me personally, he's not my type of linebacker. I like my linebackers a little insane, a little off. Like, I want when you're interviewing that guy, I want you to be like, is he okay? Like,
is he all there, bro? Like, yeah.
Nah,
I like my linebackers a little cuckoo.
Yeah.
Personally.
I don't. I'm
But I mean,
finesse guys. I'm tired of these finesse guys, bro.
I'm on dogs.
Bro. Look, him and
like
Duke
that.
Riley, they all got tattoos. They're all cool guys. You're all sensitive thugs. You all need hugs. Get off my team.
Hey,
When you got like Aziz Al-Shahir and Luvo and some of these guys are going to be available, like you got
undrafted linebacker like David Long that want to get it from the mud.
Nah.
So wait. Let me ask you guys a question. In that same play where Riley just like basically was playing flag football or tag with Mahomes, do you think Fred Warner does that?
What?
Hell no.
Fred Warner
playing for a whole country,
but
I'm just saying, a whole like denomination of people. Ain't no way. You know what's
that's
funny?
the type of guy that I want.
You know what's funny? Orlando Roberts makes that tackle.
Oh, bro.
I mean,
he had his things, but
the ability with Landon Roberts was limited, but the mentality was there. That mentality that I'm going to run through a wall and nobody in front of me is going to keep me from getting to where I want to go. That's the mentality we need. He just was limited as an athlete. You know, he didn't have great hips, but he had the right mentality. He was a leader.
We need more guys like that. We need guys that, bro, honestly, look at Jalen Phillips. Jalen Phillips would get penalties with roughing the pass, but what he was doing when he was getting roughing the pass, he was actually sacking the quarterback and installing fear into those guys. These guys are getting nothing. Deshaun Eddie, they don't hit nobody, bro. Like, I remember when Javon Holland prior to this season, even when you got a first down, he will tackle you. He tackle you with intention. I didn't see that this year. I didn't see no. Nah, we played. I didn't like the. Yes,
but
defense,
I feel like that was a conscious choice by the front office to bring in a bunch of guys who could kind of fit.
Of nice guys.
Yeah, and it's okay to say that. It's okay to say that. But
bunch of nice guys.
But you know what? And it you know where it starts for me, and this is my off-season agenda. It starts with the social media team. It starts with the clapback. It starts with the upfront presence. The best thing we had all season from the social media team was the elevator, bro. How Intuit's internet, out of all of the activity in Japan and every technologically sound country, that is the best animation clapback that we got for teams, fans, and everybody trolling us. The Bills won and got in the playoffs, and their social media team came back with receipts for the whole season. Our social media team online don't clap back. They have, in my mind, that's Liam Eichenberg at the Twitter handle. We got if we and I'll know we change when it starts there. And it might sound to y'all like a small little ripple, but there's a bigger message in what I'm saying. And those who know.
Social media that kind of
you know what's the biggest issue? The number one thing we need to change this year, we need to have our social media team be a little more angry.
But Chad, when we talk about installing a mentality, it's in all phases of the game. Okay, y'all will come on later.
We're not, bro.
I think there's related to what you're saying.
Man, he sound like Fox debating about the uniform
this year. I think they made improvements. I think they made strides.
He sounds like Fox talking about the uniforms, bro.
Yeah, it's.
Chad, when you talk about the Miami Heat and you talk about D-Wade and Shaq and Alonzo and Pat Riley and the grit and the toughness.
And
That
you always
social
talk
media
about the
team
Miami Heat
follow it.
account, the Twitter account.
No. Listen,
The social media team follows the grit of the team.
All right.
They do not miss.
Yeah, you're right.
They are on your neck when you try to troll, and they lead the trolling.
French.
But I think I have a whole team of social media people who are active and do a lot of that.
They need to win first to be able to troll.
No, but
yes,
but I get what
trolling
you
if you're a piece of shit. And I'm not saying we're a piece of shit.
But it's not about trolling. It's about, like you said, it's the mentality. It's the mentality.
All right.
But
all right,
y'all
guys,
don't get me.
All right, so look, check this out, Mike, Steve, and Ross and them, 2-0. Honestly, you don't need no linebackers. You don't need no linebackers. Just
No
give me somebody
linebackers.
on Twitter pages.
Listen, I agree with KB. Jake Bailey, we got to address.
Oh my God, bro.
No. Hey, listen. We gotta fire the special teams.
Thank you, Clark. Even the ringless for the Panthers be cooking people. Come on, man.
Honestly, relax. We need to get rid of the special teams guy. We need to get rid of our punter. We need to get rid of the strength and conditioning guy.
I don't know about that. Players right now, when they go home, they're going to be working with their own trainers for the next 3 to 4 or 5 months. They're not working.
They ain't getting. We didn't have no off-season injuries. No, none of that. No OTAs. None of that.
I came in banged up. Waddle came in banged up. T-Stick came in banged up. A bunch of people came in banged up, and they had to sit out to the side and work and rehab.
Because they didn't get the treatment here.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm just. I think it's a bit of luck that didn't play into our favor this year.
Four seasons in a row, we're the most hurt team.
You bring in injury-prone players, though. We're signing guys with injury concerns, and they get hurt in the season. We're like, oh, it's a strength.
Robert Hunt has never been known to be an injury guy.
No.
Connor Williams never been known to be an injury guy.
No, that's fair.
So, what are we talking about?
That's fair.
But never really had injuries.
Long has battled injury his entire career. He stayed healthy.
All season.
Yes, he did.
Tua healthy all season.
That's because of his all-season regimen.
Yeah, so maybe these guys aren't doing
honestly, whatever.
Austin Jackson got
guy. But let's fire Dan Crossman. Dan Crossman, you got to go. Special team, back-to-back week with touchdowns.
Wait, hold on. So every season we do the sacrificial, the one person we all come through as a Dolphin community, the YouTubers, the Facebookers, even the MySpacers. So I think we've all come to a unanimous Bailey. We all want Bailey off the team first. He's the first person we because and whatever you gotta do, go get I hope the Jets ain't signed what's his name to a multi-year deal.
Go get the punt guard.
Well, I don't. Well, he did, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
There's no civil suit. There's no nothing.
That's a PR nightmare, right?
Yeah, I understand for sure.
He beat all the allegations.
No, I get it, but you know how it is, bro.
Yeah, just
Man, listen, you need to get somebody, bro. You see that? Jake
America loves a redemption story.
But my issue is we need one who has a big leg who can also place the punts where we need them to be placed as well.
Directional.
But let me ask you all this: in Madden,
huge thing.
Why don't punters?
Hold on. French is talking about Madden now again.
No, well, but I just say when you talk about fielding the punt. This guy was supposed to be great at directionally punting. So in my mind, if you're great at directionally punting, you should be punting that out at the 3. You should be kicking it out of bounds, nailing them into the you know, it's where the judge.
And the thing about it too, he made the Pro Bowl with the Patriots, meaning he played in cold weather games. So they look, you can't blame the team for thinking they found something, but once again, it's like the Patriots are like the Heat. Whenever if the Patriots they go and play, don't pick them up. Whenever the Heat don't want to play it, Lakers don't pick him up. Well, you know what? Lakers pick him up. He getting screwed over. Yeah, keep doing that. It's like, dog, don't pick up any Patriot plays. I'm done with that. Unless they want to give me that Duggins a safety dude.
I would say he's a free agent. He's a free agent.
Hey, I'll take one of them guards. Hey, chill out.
You Shea a free agent. Duggar's a free agent. Hunter Henry. Well, you guys are that high on Hunter.
Who's the free agent?
Yes. There's some guys I would like. I'm just saying. Hey.
Hey, listen, we can work with something. Hey, you can. Cause hey, man, bring that boy home, man. Bring that boy home.
Hey, go give me one of them guards. Hey, go give me one of them guards.
What's that man's name? Cole Strange?
Yeah, Michael. We knew he could play everywhere on the line. He's another free agent from New England.
But
he can play everywhere.
Let me ask you this: with Connor, I go get somebody that can also push Connor for that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, we need to get another center.
I can't.
A good center.
If that center.
Hey, look, let me tell you something. You draft that and look, and you can be like, hey, Connor, you might not be able to come back. Now, I mean, we can start you back your other home. Left.
That center guard center combo got to be at like 98.
You gave me a little center, and Chai gave me a little.
That's important. I've been saying that's important for a shorter quarterback like what we have.
I don't think they actually do.
It all looked differently when Connor was in there, and he would and Tua was able to step up and see those throwing lanes.
Connor's the best center in the league that nobody wants to agree with.
Tua needs that center to allow him to be able to step up and see those lanes and get that ball out. If that pocket is dirty and he got to throw it high, that's what we're gonna get.
Like, hey, French is like 2.5 hours late on that, bro.
Yo, we've been
pushing back into his face. That's when he struggles, bro. He needs to have that's guard center guard combo. Mahomes has that. When you got Humphrey and Trey Smith.
I wanted that guy so bad.
Did you see that guy moving Christian Wilkins?
Yes.
Stop it all.
Yes.
Need that.
Oh, he was molly whopping.
It wasn't just Connor Williams. When Connor Williams and Isaiah Wynn and Robert Hunt were there, this team was a completely different team.
Because they were maulers. They were the whole pocket. Tua had that whole thing going forward, and he had this. So he was just it was clean. He was
cleaning his nails.
Look, honestly, with every last one of these draft picks, on God and everything I love, I would spend every last pick on trenches.
Cam Kitchens.
No, I'm not doing that.
I will spend.
Kitchens.
I'm not doing that.
I will spend it all on trenches and special teams.
Cam Kitchens and number 25. Cam Kitchens.
Wide receivers, like some tight ends, I'd love.
Screw all that.
Cam Kitchens and number 25.
If
Kitchens and number 25.
You get a Jalen Carter or center guard combo that allow Tua to step up in the pocket, we put 40 up.
Cam Kitchens at number 25, big dog.
You go get you
strong safety. You can play DB. He can return kicks.
Nah, miss me with that, Wally. Miss me with that, Wally.
Hey, I think he might. I did a couple mocks last night. I was bored.
He's there.
He might be there. I know that Washington tackle is going to be there.
I don't want to.
Jalen Trice.
Listen,
man, it's some guys. Hey, listen.
We can't go from saying we want to be gritty and tough, and we out here talking about the kitchen.
What?
You gotta,
bro. What?
Listen,
what? Have you seen this kid play?
Yes.
Hey, nah, you wilding right now. Hey,
emotional, damn it.
Yeah, get him out the
stage. Bro, there's some good players though that I wouldn't mind if they did go trench it.
Cam Kitchens is arguably the best safety in college right now.
With the
I don't want another safety. I'm sorry.
We need another safety.
Hey, Chris said that he might trade it. He might trade us for the first pick.
And especially if you consider the fact that you got to pay Holland next year, it wouldn't be bad to have a rookie contract in that back end to pair with that because it's going to be expensive.
You don't see the vision, coach.
You don't see the vision. Contract next year with Holland.
He's probably going to steal this take and say
it. So Wally, with
he's tweeting it out right now,
pick of the draft, we take a safety and you happy?
Yes.
It depends what we do.
Let me tell you something, French.
Time out. Wait, Wally, hold on. I'm gonna interrupt. This is the reason why when we were talking earlier that I think it was Wally was saying best player available. Chad just made the point. It depends on what we do on free agency.
Exactly. And if we're able, if we go BPA and he's there and he's the best player available, you taking him, and I'm gonna be happy with it because the kid can play. I'm gonna tell you something. This system with Jalen Ramsey, Cam Kitchens, and Javon Holland, my brother, you are my man.
I said it, no fly zone. You can't.
Nah, bro. No. I'm gonna tell you something. Look, and shout out to Chad. Chad's been calling it from day one. Brandon Jones wasn't a big banjo guy. Neither. I don't even think Deshaun Elliott was. He was just an afterthought. I could let's get him here. We might be able to work that. You put Cam Kitchens in.
Just a good safety in general. We could have a good safety tandem. I think with the rotations and everything on the back end, a lot of those communication issues, you strip all of that. And if you factor in the fact that you're possibly going to be playing Cam Smith on the other boundary, why not have someone behind him who's stout that could have his back to allow him to flourish? Like it's a good idea. But also, again, going to free agency, the strongest position group in free agency is safety. So if we gut out and go get a CJ Gardner-Johnson, then in the draft, Cam Kitchens makes no sense.
No, of course not.
So
then you go BPA. That's what I'm saying.
But if we go out and attack the
BPA, I'm always gonna be BPA. I don't like drafting with need. I don't like drafting needs.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that. And this is this draft, we can actually fix certain things, not to be at need. So, and let's say we do what we're supposed to do and take care of it. We can get CJ, and then you end up having the kid from Washington being there. You have you have a tight end, you have a DB. Like, hey, I don't know, dog, but I'm gonna take this guard tackle because in a couple of years he's my left tackle. You feel me? You don't have a Jets. You have a Patriot Jet team jump you for the guys you need. You remember that happens to us with the running backs, the wide receivers. It happens to us every year. I'm tired of that.
I don't want guys sitting on the bench. I'm with KB, bro. Like, them guys got to be able to play. Whoever we bring in, they need to be able to contribute immediately.
Yeah, the draft in the next couple of years is going to be crucial because you can't pay everybody.
Bro, when's the last time we had a draft pick come in and play? Achane was the only one that really was able to come in and immediately contribute, and it still kind of took him some time to get going.
Is this fair to say like the clock is already on with Cam Smith?
For sure.
I think no.
It's starting.
Now it's starting now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like right now, like no excuses.
Yes.
No,
and I think Cam Smith, he's in the final. The talent's there.
I like Cam.
The talent he's really talented.
I don't think the problem is physical talent.
It's not. It's gonna be mental. But you know what? But it takes you. But that 1 year of not playing and sticking through it, and molds you. So
look at what happened to Deion Jordan.
But Deion Jordan was a nutcase. He was a pothead.
I know. I mean, it's not a good comparison. I'm just saying that hopefully, the sitting and the learning, it kind of matures the player. Some guys don't figure it out.
You know what I want the word to be for this offseason? Motor. We need guys with that motor, that motor, that mindset and motor.
Bro,
go.
Why do you think I brought up John Randall? That guy. That you want to talk about motor? If you, I know you need to watch video on that guy.
Why do you think I love Cam Kitchens so much? Cam Kitchens when we signed.
You're actually convincing me on this shit.
When we ain't got Cam Kitchens, he wasn't even the safety that he was like an afterthought. I'm
walking with
that
you.
Year we got.
I'm walking with you.
That year we got two 5-star safeties. He made one of them boys transfer out. He plays so good that he's gonna get James Williams drafted now. That's how good he is. And let me tell you something. I'll take James Williams too.
I was just thinking about him. I'd take him too.
No slouch.
But the thing about James is more of a Brandon Jones, hybrid linebacker guy. Cam
Bro,
Kitchens is
he's like
everywhere.
6'6", right?
Free safety. True free safety. Cam Kitchens a true free safety.
He's a true free safety. He's Ed Reed to me. Ed Reed vibes. Not with the ball skills. The center from Oregon. I like the center from UM. He's really solid, and we can pick him up undrafted.
Center from Oregon is really good. The center from Oregon's really good, really, really good. And they also have a running back I really, really love that we could probably have.
I think the center from Oregon, they go first.
There's some players on that team. There's some good players on that team.
He might be the first center drafted, though. He might be the first center drafted.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Are you taking a center? We're not taking a center in the first round. We're not doing that.
No, probably not. Probably not. But centers a lot of times don't go that high. Traditionally, they go towards the back end of the first round, second round mostly. Traditionally.
Two teams like us. And the teams that are winning teams type shit right now. But given our construct, no matter what, unless we don't bring back Connor, we're not going center early.
No. The only way we go center,
even if we don't bring them back, we'll have Liam and pick up a guy in the third and mold them. Yeah, I'm telling you, they're not gonna go. Liam affords them to not have to go in the first round for a center. They're not gonna go in the first round for a center. I guarantee you that.
No, first round, no.
That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I haven't looked at. I think we have a couple of 6. I think.
Yeah.
We have a first, you have a second, a third, and what else, Chad?
And 2 6s.
First, second, fifth, sixth, seventh. No third or fourth round picks. Right. The third in the tampering allegations, and the fourth went with Chubb. So first, second, fifth, sixth, seventh.
Yeah, and we'll be getting into all that throughout the offseason.
For sure. We'll have plenty of talks about that. I mean, the hopes is that we can get 2 starters out of the draft and the rest through free agency, some filler.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, man. I'm looking forward.
Well, we got a lot of keepers coming, playing a lot of different things. We'll be doing a bunch of different, situations, scenarios, mock drafts. We'll have draft analysts coming on, and a whole bunch of we'll do a bunch of different things, man. So plenty of content to come.
Oh, for sure. So we're going on 2.5 hour, guys. Any what's the last closing thoughts here before we get out of here?
Man, just excited for the future, man. Humbling end to the season. I'm still gonna talk my trash though all next year because that's what we do. Happy that we were able to see some things, but also disappointed in the way some things went. But just a mixed bag overall. But man, we're in a good spot overall. Just feeling good. Excited for this off season.
I'm happy. Of course. I want to be playing right now. Of course, I would have loved to beat these teams, but we have a core. We have a core coach, quarterback, GM, front office that they have a vision. They're gonna make it. They're gonna make it work, and I believe in them. And it's tough, but I want you to understand and look at the teams that are dominating right now. The Ravens, they stuck by their guy. The Chiefs, Andy Reid. You know what I mean? If you go to college football, another Harbaugh brother. Just give these guys time to cook, man. If you do, you're gonna be pleasantly surprised. It's not Ryan Tannehill, I'll tell you that much, or Adam Gase.
French, what do you got?
Anybody giving away and burning Tua jersey size 2X, I will send you the PO box for inside leverage. Also, anybody giving up those season tickets because you're done with the Miami Dolphins, please have your Miami Dolphins rep call me. Come walk with me.
And with that, guys, see you next time.
Yeah, we'll be Anil, the answer is yes, we will be doing a lot of off-season stuff. So keep tuning in. We're gonna have a very, very, very
I know we're definitely gonna do that, Anil.
Yeah, we'll be doing that just like we do every year. We'll do that. But on next Tuesday, make sure you tune in. We're going to have a very, very special guest. I will not spoil who it is right now. Keep tuning in, but you guys are going to want to listen. We're going to have somebody very important to the Miami Dolphins franchise and fan base.
We
joining
doing
us.
things. We doing big things out here. We doing
Yes, sir.
things out
Yes,
here.
sir.
We inside.
This is the inside leverage exit meeting for the 2023-2024
Cut us out,
season.
Coach. Cut us out, Coach.
We would like to thank everyone who participated this season.
Cut us out, Coach. Cut us out.
You made this a success.
Get us out of here.